Class is in session, boys. Yes. G'day, legends! What's good, what's good, what's good? Thrill House was first. Shout out to the Gold Coast. Yes, Thrill House. Yes, mate. Benny was second. Kenny, your bloody ripper, was third. Don't pull the glitching. Bilal's good eyes here. How are you, mate? Shout out to the Bull. Dougie put a 5-second delay on the stream for me. That's why it caused me to glitch out. You deserve it, Kenny. You deserve it, mate. You've been an absolute menace in the chat, brother. What's up, TY? Good to see you, dude. All right, where's the intro music? Hang on. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down, Dougie. And chill. Oosh. There we go. That's good. How are the audio levels? Let me have a listen. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good day, legends. How are we? Good day and to you, legends. Good and target to the boys. How is everybody? How are we all surviving without the UFC on today? Is everyone okay? I hope everyone's routine for the weekend isn't ruined. Alright, there's Cage Warriors to still watch. I haven't watched Cage Warriors yet. I'll be watching Cage Warriors this Arvo. There's BKFC from yesterday to watch, which was phenomenal. There's still one championship that was on Friday night to watch. There's so much good combat sports that isn't the UFC Apex. We kind of forget just how good the rest of the combat sports world is when we're stuck at the UFC Apex every weekend. The more and more time we get off away from the Apex watching the other combat sports, the more I feel like the UFC should cut down on events. I know we've been doing around 40 events. We've done about 42 events, 40 events ever since like 2012, I think it's been. I know Cage Warriors has already happened. One championship's already happened. I'm saying I've got to go back and watch those, so I'm going to watch those this afternoon. But yeah, I feel like the more and more I get to see the other combat events happen on these weekends where I have time to watch them, and it's not just 8 hours of just UFC or 6 hours of UFC down at the Apex, I wouldn't mind cutting the UFC down to like 30 events a year, 35 events a year. Just cut out the 10 Apex events. It is getting more and more obvious just how horrible it is. Brizzy represent at the Gold Coast going fishing and gambling and single mums. That describes the Gold Coast almost perfectly, mate. Almost perfectly. How are you, TY? What are you up to today? Kenny dropping hot dogs in the chat. Of course he is. He's never getting over this hot dog joke. It is weird. It is weird. Yesterday, Kenny, I drove past the Costco, and I thought to myself, do I go in there and I grab a hot dog, and do I quickly do a live stream of me grabbing a hot dog at the Costco? But I thought, no, Doug, don't lean into this anymore. I'm in Dougie's Dutch oven right now. Okay, disgusting. Shotgun, let's rock out some more. The average UFC average events, 43 events every year since 2024. There we go. I knew it was around that somewhere. 36 events a year is the sweet spot. 1 pay-per-view a month and 2 fight nights with 1 weekend. There we go. Yeah, so my feelings were about right. What's up, Timmy? Happy Easter, you bunch of Neanderthals. What is up? And Weston says, it's weed. I don't know what you're talking about, Weston. Loft looks great, by the way, Weston. Yeah, happy Easter weekend, everybody. Happy Easter weekend. Christ has risen. Praise the Lord. 36 events is the sweet spot. 1 pay-per-view a month, 2 fight nights, and 1 weekend off. I agree with that. I don't think we need the content machine ripping away. What do you think about this, Shotgun? You have 36 events a year, and on the 1 weekend off, you do a Dana White's Contender Series. So you essentially have Contender Series running all year long. You just spread it out. So essentially it's once a month is a pay-per-view. Maybe at the end of the month is the pay-per-view. At the start of the month is a Contender Series. And in the middle of the month is 2 fight nights events at a crowded arena. And the arenas don't have to be massive. Again, to me, when we watched back in the day, what was it? We watched an event. It was Piotr Jan versus Merab Dvalishvili, and it was at like some hotel lobby. It was at like the Vegas Center Hotel. It was a very, very small arena. It only held about 2,000 people, but the vibe was about perfect. The vibe was perfect to me. So yeah, if I was Dana White, not only would I be insanely rich and touring around the Mediterranean Sea on my yacht, but I would have it. Yeah, you're on board with that, Shotgun? Yeah, that's how I would have it, dude. That's how I would have it. I would have the start of the month, Dana White's Contender Series, then 2 fight night cards at a crowded arena. At the motel, the crowd was... Yeah, just at any crowded arena. It doesn't have to be an arena, just any crowded room of 2,000 people or more for 2 fight night cards, and then cap off the end of the month with a pay-per-view. And that would be my cycle for the entire year. And I would go back to putting on New Year's shows as well. Do you remember the New Year's shows? I loved them. What's up, Too Smelly? What's up, Johnny? Good to see you, boys. I need to get a candle with the scent of Dougie's farts. That's easy to do, mate. All you have to do is drink a slab of beer, eat a family amount of KFC chicken, a slab of beer, a whole family's worth of KFC chicken, then shit that out, roll it into a candle, and you've got yourself a Dougie fart. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank next weekend has me hyped. This is boxing? I believe you're talking boxing. Dan, that would be sick. Yeah, Jan versus Marab was in the hotel. What's up, Toad? Good to see you, mate. Jan versus Marab was in a hotel. Yeah, and it was sick. No, Dougie, no. At the title of the video. Oh, no, Johnny. No. We have factual evidence of this. Well, we have some factual evidence. It's not exactly a fucking hard-hitting study. But we have some evidence of this, Johnny boy. We have some evidence of this. I will show you it to you now thusly. The Dougster blessing the homies with a middle-of-the-day stream. It's Sunday. There's no UFC. I'm here, and then I will chill out and continue to play Red Dead Redemption. Dutch has once again caused us to have to tear up camp and move. I've been shot. I had to get myself free. The plan was for Dutch to come and save me. I didn't notice Dutch getting a team together when I dragged my ass back to camp. Seemed like it was business as usual. I don't think Dutch was coming to save me at all, to be quite frank. I mean, moments later, the boy got kidnapped and Dutch rallied that very moment. That didn't happen when I was kidnapped and shot for Dutch when I said we were walking into a trap. So every day that passes under that full moon, I've got a feeling that I'm gonna have to put a bullet in Dutch. I'm getting real fucking sick of Dutch and his fucking plan about going to Tahiti. What is this, boys? Trust the plan? We're all going to Thailand? Bullshit. 36 is too much. Go back to how it used to be, one every 3 weeks or a month when they starved of it. We loved every single event more. No, I think that's a little bit less. I think 30 might be the sweet spot, Tim. Yeah, I don't think you need to have that few amount of events, but yeah, definitely less than we have now. Westerns, you guy. What's up, Toad? What's up, Toad? What is Toad saying here? Ilia's already a decent draw here, but massive in Spain and countries where they speak Spanish. Well, yeah, that would be the other thing. Like, he's got all of Latin America as well, right? He's got all of Latin America backing him up as well. The New Year's shows were sick. Remember when we got Lesnar versus Overeem? So goddamn hyped. I loved the New Year's shows because they would be on during the day. What's up, Tracy? How are you? They would be on during the day, and these New Year's shows, in Australia, you'd have drinking all day long leading up to New Year's night, and I used to be able to chuck on the New Year's shows in front of a group of people and watch the UFC while at a backyard with the mates. I loved it. I loved it so much. I remember when Amanda Nunes knocked out Cyborg, the entire, New Year's Eve party was in the room watching that fight with me. No one could believe their eyes. You don't get those moments anymore. Those farts smell so good. Alright, Kenny, that's disgusting. Big New Year's Eve shows have a long historical in Japanese MMA, starting from the Pride days and now with Ryzen. Yeah, Ryzen still does a good New Year's Eve show, which is good here, because Australia's time zone is exactly the same as Japan's time zone, funnily enough. Why are we doing big old Wales, Tracy? What's going on there? So yeah, my city's time zone, Melbourne, lines up exactly the same as Tokyo's time zone. So the New Year's Eve shows work out perfectly for us. Shotgun, I'm interested in this for the first time since Lennox Lewis, and I watched their dads fight as a kid. So we are talking about boxing. Yep, okay. Dutch is on thin ice. Dude, Dutch is... I'm putting a bullet in Dutch. Oh, trust the plan. Dutch is going to come and get you. Dutch didn't come get me. I had to get myself out of there. I had to get myself out of that goddamn basement. It's the egg slap for... the egg slap one. Okay, everyone in the UK is buzzing about it. Dude, that is a great way to promote a fight. Bringing an egg. That is a great way to promote a fight, man. La, 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 la. I'm not listening to the Dutch slander. Name me one good thing Dutch has done. I was thinking about this last night, right? We're riding around. We're robbing every coach train that we can in the Wild Wild West. The whole time, thank you, Guru, for the 5 gifted memberships, brother. What are you doing just floating around, Guru? I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the chat, dude. I know you don't want to get too involved in online chat forums, dude, because you do your own thing, but feel free to hang around, brother. But thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, Guru. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you, man. Thank you, dude. I appreciate all the support you do for small MMA YouTubers, man. You never get a proper shout out for it. In fact, lately in your streams, people have been saying that you don't help the community. Fucking bullshit, bro. Fucking bullshit. Just a little drive-by. Nah, thanks, Guru. I appreciate it, man. Have a good afternoon. Can you, not go live for at least, half an hour, dude? Let me enjoy these 15 people, okay? Just give me half an hour. Kick back in the hot tub or something. Go work on your delts or something, all right? Just give me half an hour, Guru. Please, for God's sake, give me half an hour. Thank you very much for the members, dude. Thank you very much. Oh, God. Another fire. Thank you, dude. Another fire from the big Guru. He's going live, boys. He's going live. He's prepping me, boys. This is an apology. He's dropping members as an apology. He's about to go, nah, fuck you, Doug. I'm already sitting at the computer. I'm going live, cunt. Thanks, brother. Right, where was that? Thank you, Guru, for the 10, man. That's it. I'm not going live for a bit. You'll be fine. Thank God, mate. Every time. No, thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, dude. Guru, when is your channel becoming free speech? Guru's always been very, very free speech. He's towing the line of not getting himself arrested, Timmy, and being able to say what he wants. You know what I mean? Like us in Australia and us in England, we have to toe that line. We've passed very similar speech laws to yours in England, Guru. So, yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you again, man, for the 10 memberships. I appreciate it. Why the fuck is EPD's girlfriend and Raw Dog Randy getting gifted memberships and I am not? I don't know, dude. I never get gifted memberships, and I've been part of people's channels for a long time, man. So I don't know, Toad. It's very weird. Guru's throwing money around like the boss. Well, he's the boss of MMA YouTube. He's the one with the views. Fuck, got a hectic hangover. It's a bit like that today, Nacho, isn't it? I got my big old cup of iced coffee to get through the stream. It's a bit like that today, brother. Dutch is Dutch, too. Dutch is daddy. Dutch has a plan. The plan is Tahiti. Dutch doesn't do shit. Right, this is what we were talking about on this MMA stream before Guru jumped in. And thank you again, Guru. Dutch, I get shot. I get myself back to camp. I don't see the camp rallying to save me. Not happening at all. I have to save myself. The boy gets saved. The camp goes into action straight away. Straight away. I don't understand how that happens. Like, where was come and save Arthur? Nowhere to be seen. We have to move camp again because of Dutch. Dutch doesn't do anything. We do all the robbing, and Dutch just sits there in the pot. And then when you go to the little book where you buy provisions for the camp, one of the selections is Dutch wants a nicer tent. What does Dutch do except take all the money? I'm going to put a bullet in Dutch. I know this is a Rockstar game, and like at the end of Grand Theft Auto 5 when you have to turn in on Trevor or Michael, I know what's going to happen at the end of the game. They're going to be like, turn in Dutch, turn Dutch over. I am not even going to fucking hesitate to click whatever selection button is for turning over Dutch. I'm putting a bullet in him. I am personally putting a bullet in it. Fuck Dutch. Fuck his plan. I don't need Dutch to get to Tahiti. I'll get myself to Tahiti. Rumors of DDP injured, fight with Hamzat at International Fight Week in jeopardy, according to Kevin Ioli. Interesting. I don't know about that, Shotgun. How recent is that news? Because we got images of Hamzat Chimaev's new training camp yesterday. We got that news. So how recent is that news, Shotgun? Fuck the line, Dougie. Those laws are in our favor. I don't think they are, Tim. I don't think they are in our favor, brother. You have to change settings to allow yourself to be gifted. I've done that, Rod. I've gone back into my settings and selected allow yourself to be gifted, and I still never get gifted memberships, ever. It's I don't know, man. I think maybe there's just some accounts where it just glitches. I'm not sure. Dutch is a piece of shit who grooms young boys to do his bidding. That is what Dutch does. That is exactly what he does, Nacho. What is a Dutch? So in Red Dead Redemption 2, your gang that you are in is led by a bloke called Dutch. And as far as I can tell, he is a lazy cunt that just keeps getting us into trouble. And quite frankly, I'd be better off on my own. Nacho knows he's been abused by Dutch and he's had enough. It's from a Kevin Ioli's article yesterday. Okay, alright. So a bit of conflicting info on what we're going to get, whether it's Hamzat or not. That would be very bad from the UFC because they're sort of banking on a Hamzat Chimaev, DDP, Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria International Fight Week. So if Hamzat is going to be injured, that is not good for the UFC, mate. That is not going to be good for the UFC at all. I'm hearing rumors that DDP versus Hamzat is basically locked in, but they want Hamzat to figure out visa issues before they announce it. I'm surprised that visa issues are even still something that we're talking about at all. I mean, Donald Trump and Dana White seems to be the best of friends at the moment. Surely that is just a phone call. It's not even a phone call. I mean, surely they've talked about that plenty of times, and Hamzat Chimaev should be able to cross into the American border. I mean, this shouldn't be an issue anymore, right? Kevin Ioli is a legit source. He is a legit source. No, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you that Kevin's a legit source. It just seems like we're getting conflicting information with Kevin, who's legit, and actual training footage of Hamzat hitting the internet yesterday. I mean, that is conflicting footage. I don't know. Dougie, I've offered to go through them on the Discord, but everyone would rather stay psyoped and disempowered. I appreciate that, Tim, but I am someone who, like, when I see a contract and when I see a law, what I do is I download the PDF myself. Like, I have downloaded the PDF of the update to the law as of 2025 after the red flag thing that happened in Sydney. I downloaded it myself and I read through it. And I've got my own understanding of it. My own understanding of it is... it is very, very vague on purpose, with up to 5 years in jail. Dutch's base makes Dougie work for everything. Yeah, Dutch's base. Yeah, Dutch is going to get a fucking bullet in his head, TY. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. I'm putting a bullet in Dutch's head. Believe that. Dougie works Dutch's snake out in the field. That's what it feels like, mate. Kevin never said Drickus was injured. He just said Drickus won't be fighting an international fight week. They're completely different things. I never said that Kevin was injured. I never said that Drickus was injured. I said he wouldn't be fighting. They're completely different. Completely different, mate. DDP is going to give Dougie the hammer. What does that even mean? My bad. Let me dial it back a bit. Have you ever read the Anarchist's Handbook? The Anarchist Cookbook. We had it as the Anarchist Cookbook. That's the one where it teaches you how to make certain things at home. I have read it. I have read it when I was in high school. I've said International Fight Week is 8 weeks away. UFC need to get their shit together because they're running out of time. I agree, dude. Again, I don't know if they're just waiting on the Bilal JDM fight to properly announce things. I wouldn't be surprised if we get announcements moments after that fight. Like, there was a fight recently where was it? Someone had just won, and then they talked to the opponents backstage and offered them fights. I don't remember where it was, but it was literally a phone call that happened backstage the moment that the championship fight had happened. It was in like the last 6 months. But I think we're in one of those situations. As far as I can tell. Because I think the moment that Bilal versus JDM is done, then lightweight will just fall into place. Dougie, why are we keeping Dutch around? Where is a conflict in getting rid of him? The question has nothing to do with my relationship with my father, of course. Dougie, why are we keeping Dutch around? Where is your conflict getting rid of him? This question has nothing to do with why are we keeping him around? I don't know, dude. I don't know why we're keeping him around. We should be getting rid of him. He's not good for the gang at all. He keeps getting us into these cycles of trouble and keeps waiting for the next big hit so we can get rid of Tahiti. No. What is in the best interest of the gang is to hand Dutch over to the FBI and get all of our freedoms. That is the way you keep the entire gang safe. And then just start farming and doing legitimate, reliable jobs rather than trying to rob everyone all the time. I'm eating my 5th glizzy today. I feel so fat, but I'm trying to find more mayo to squirt on it. Alright, you're just trying to rope Guru back into the stream by doing some mayo fishing. Can I get an impression of Cejudo as famed blind superhero Daredevil? Yeah, of course. Man, I think he's over there, man. I really do. I can hear him, man. I can hear him over there, dude. I'm gonna throw a takedown, man. Man, when I come in for a Kamaru, dude, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna give up on this fight. I'm gonna go for another one, dude. I feel like I really am, man. I'm gonna throw a takedown now, man. Oh my god, I'm losing. Oh god, here we go. Where was I? I've lost my place. Can you do an impression? Where am I? Yeah, Shogun is the one. Yep. Yes, I've read it too, Smelly. Yes. Can you do an impression of Chandler losing to Anshul Jubilee? You know, it doesn't matter how much shit you get on your clothes. You just gotta walk on. You know, kids, it doesn't matter if you get the fuck beaten out of you by a homeless man that shits on the streets. You just gotta keep on moving on. Remember how long they left announcing UFC 300 main event? Just got announced post-fight press conference with no fanfare because they was mid and it let us down. That could be what is happening with International Fight Week. And if the UFC dropped the ball on this, I don't know what to say. I mean, if the UFC dropped the ball on International Fight Week, the sane thing for an MMA fan to say is, oh, we have to get rid of Dana White. But I feel like the fact that Dana White isn't in charge of the ship anymore is the problem. And even if Dana White was still in charge of the ship, the Dana White that we have in 2025 is not the Dana White that we had in 2015 when he wanted to get the sport legitimized and onto ESPN. They're very different people. Like, what we are actually missing is that person that has the drive to make the sport bigger and better than what it was yesterday. Right now, we have just got someone that is trying to sell the sport off to the next big package, and then he is going to move on to TKO, and a whole bunch of people that are controlling the ship. What's up, Quagmire? How are you, dude? You busted on Dana White's stomach? Very gay. What the people that are trying to do right now are just continue to keep the ship afloat the way it's been going for years, because they are not invested in the company getting bigger and better. We are, at the UFC, quite frankly, missing genuine leadership. We need a leader in charge of the company that actually wants to grow the sport and make it bigger. We don't have that anymore. Dougie got his balls folded by a kid by his weird uncle, but Dougie doesn't like to talk about it because he thinks that was John Jones, so Dougie does Sean Strickland stuff. Thanks, Kenny. Tim, you can't be trusted. You said Islam was as big of a cheat as John Jones, and then I asked you to point me in the last time Islam fouled in a fight, and you never responded. Ooh, fresh haircut? I cut my own hair on Thursday. But thanks, Too Smelly. Do an impression of Chandler dying from Ruffy and then telling God, I'll see you at the top, and then getting sent to hell because of it. Okay, right. So Chandler gets smacked out. He's on his way to heaven. I'll see you at the top! Gets up to God. And the Lord is like, no, my son. I have seen how you have desecrated your bloodline. Be gone. Down he goes. You should make a movie. You should make a movie called The Serbian Barbershop. Two Smelly Fingers, have you ever seen a movie called A Serbian Movie? No, think of that as a Serbian barbershop. Rumors of Marty fighting Joaquin Buckley. Finally, shit or get off the pot. They are the new rumors. They are the rumors going around that Buckley's next fight will be against Kamaru Usman. I thought I had one of them here bookmarked on the side. Turns out Turns out I did not. No, but you are right, Super Shotgun. They are the rumors going around. I'm going with Buckley in that fight. Who are you boys going with? Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. Who do you guys have? It's not vague. You guys need to understand there are ordinary and technical alternative legal meanings. Meanings to the word. There are also phrases with their own meaning. It's called legalese, Dougie. Okay, fair enough, Tim. I hear you. According to my reading of it, it is absolutely the kind of law that they want to have, where if I get on here and I say something towards a certain group of people, they can throw me in jail for it for 5 years. I think you're right about waiting on the JDM fight. I don't think it was the UFC's original intention, but I think the negotiation just dragged on, and now they're so close they might as well wait. Yeah, Paul, I think that's where we've ended up. Yeah, I think that's exactly where we've ended up. Which is why I don't think the UFC originally wanted Ilia Topuria to move up to lightweight, but he has, and then they entered negotiations, and now, like you've said, we're just ended up where we're 2 months away from International Fight Week, and fuck it, we might as well see where the chips land. When JDM does beat Bilal Muhammad, Islam Makhachev is obviously going to want to move up. Ilia Topuria will be ready. The reason all the other lightweights aren't booked in for fights yet is because one of them is going to say yes to a short notice interim title fight. So there we are. No disrespect, just curious, is Michael Chandler not sterile? Michael Chandler is not sterile. He just had his own daughter last week, actually. It makes statements mean completely different. The legalese. I'm with you, dude. I understand what you're saying. I kind of just disagree with you right now at the moment. Just walk on, kid from Missouri. See you at the top, God. See you at the top. Peak Dana White would smack his wife and then promote smack. That's when Dana White really wants a promotion to work. What's up, Eric? How are you, dude? When Dana White wants a promotion to work called slap fighting, he'll make sure there's a camera around when he slaps his wife. That is the Dana White we need. Just a bunch of money guys looking for how much they can sell the company on their biggest profit, not caring about the long-term health of the sport. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're just... It's gone from... Again, and so many creative processes are like this, and we have seen creative processes like this again and again and again, and just things that I have noticed in my life, right? Like, certain things that I was fans of as a child growing up, they completely change once they become mainstream. You know, you take something like, I'll just use Star Wars as an example because I loved Star Wars growing up. It was George Lucas's baby and his creative mind that he had that made it his own, and he had a vision for it that it wanted to grow. And then it became this IP, and it completely lost its soul, and then it was sold to Disney, and it just becomes this IP that rolls on again and again and again. What's up, Joe Hogan? And so many things fall into this trap, and now the UFC has fallen into this trap as well, where it was Dana White's baby to get back at the boxing world that had rejected him. And he would do everything that he could to make those three letters a legitimate sport. And now they have become a legitimate sport. They're one of the top 4 sports in the world on ESPN. And it's lost the soul that pushed it to be bigger and better. That just doesn't exist anymore. Now it is just a production company that just takes in shit from the Contender Series, gives it a 3-fight contract. If anything on a 3-fight contract can get a little bit of traction on shorts and TikTok reels, that is essentially all the promotion that it gets. Yeah, Hunter and the Aerials are basically running it. Yeah, exactly, Big Ben. John Jones won't like the title of this video. Fuck John Jones. A Serbian film, exactly, mate. I can't believe I set you up with the Cejudo Daredevil scene and you didn't see. I can't see, man. I really can't. Oh, Nacho, I dropped that softball. Oh, Nacho, I'm sorry, dude. I completely dropped that. I can't see. Dude, I can't see. Man, I really can't see, man. I'm gonna need another 5 minutes, man. I can't see. Oh, no. At least Dana and the Fertittas are actually fight fans. The Fertittas were already wealthy and saw the UFC as a passion project. That kind of took off. Yeah, that's what it needed to be. It needs to be a passion project. John Jones is a bomb of a thing. Absolutely right, Quagmire MMA. Flat Earth Australia is a day behind. It is, dude. Imagine Buckley beats Chandler and takes his kids. What? Imagine Joaquin Buckley beat up Chandler and stole his kids. Don't worry, kids. I'll teach you the right way. Serbian film should have never been made. No, Johnny, it shouldn't have. Buckley all day. I agree, Quagmire MMA. Buckley all bloody day, mate. Dougie, what are the top 3 scenes you can smell sense when smelling a Buckley fart? What? What? I got Usman by a 5-round decision with just his wrestling. Oh, so the same way Movsar Evloev is going to try and beat Alexander Volkanovski. We have a clip to listen to when the chat slows down a little bit of Movsar Evloev doing an interview, boys. And in that interview, he said he's going to push Alexander Volkanovski up against the cage and control him for 5 rounds. Movsar, this is why you aren't getting a title shot, because you're fucking boring. It's impossible to know. Well, his last 3 fights were fun, but saying things like that don't help your cause, Movsar. It's impossible to know where Usman is right now. I don't pick inactive old men. Yeah, I mean, this isn't Usman of 2000 and even 2020. You know what I mean? This is Usman of 2025. He's sat out for a year. In his mind, he's coming off 3 losses. I think they're 3 great losses, but they are still 3 losses. So, yeah. What can you say about that? You know what I mean? No disrespect, just curious. We did that one. What's up? Local taxi driver. How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. I'm just trying to get through everyone's chats right now. Welcome to the line. Welcome to the queue. If you guys want to skip the queue, that's what the power of capitalism is for. Donating will get you to skip the queue, and I'll read your chat straight away. Until then, just enjoy the vibe and kick back. When has Islam ever eye poked? Time for a nap, mate. Yeah, Tim, what fight are you talking about where Islam's doing eye poking? Good to see you, Joe Hogan. Sunday in Australia, so I'm here. Is it Sunday or am I missing out on work? Should I be at work right now or is it Sunday? What day is it? It's Sunday. All right. I don't think Power Slap would have ever succeeded. Eventually, people will not be interested anymore. It's dumb. It's only a matter of time. No, I don't think Power Slap is ever going to take off to the vision that Dana White has. It is very interesting to scroll past on a TikTok or a reel. That's about it. That is about it. Eric, did I skip your message? Sorry, dude. W. Dana White, discipline your wife. Sorry, Eric. There it is. W. Dana White, discipline your wife. Sorry, I did miss that one. My bad, Eric. There you go. Do an impression of Buckley sleeping with Ian's wife and Chandler offers to adopt the baby. Do an impression. Oh, that's it, Layla. Are you enjoying that, Layla? Yeah, good on you, Layla. Oh, she's pregnant. Chandler, where's Chandler? Chandler, get in here and take this baby boy. Good on you, Chandler. Oh, Layla. And I think that my friend Joaquin Buckley should get in here and get inside my wife. And Chandler, you just stand on call for 9 months. It'll be all yours. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh, God. Dana used to fly all around the country trying to sell the UFC to boardrooms and to sponsors of the merits of the sport. He was truly dedicated and passionate back then. Yeah, he was, dude, and he's just not the same anymore, and I understand why he isn't, but we need someone that has that sort of passion back in the driver's seat. A Serbian film. I haven't heard that title in a while. Alex, thank you so much for becoming a member again, brother. I really appreciate it, dude. Good to see you, man. Shout out to the GOAT, Herbert Burns. A Serbian film. Haven't heard that title in a while. 100%, 1000% has to be a pure Jewish movie, because what the fuck was all it? It was just Serbians proving that they don't give a fuck, and their sense of humor. No matter how dark you think your sense of humor is, it has got nothing compared to Serbian sense of humor. Nothing. You think you have a dark sense of humor? You have no idea the amount of stuff that I have to hold back in this head to not get instantly banned off YouTube like that. Like that. One day there is going to be a streamer on Rumble that covers his face, wears a big set of glasses, and looks like Dr. Disrespect, that I'm going to be very supportive of. Marty Fake Newsman sends Buckley back to Africa. Okay, alright. I remember downloading Serbian film back in the day after all the hype and the curiosity. Get to the newborn scene, and immediately I just went, nope, I'm out. Don't blame him. Nacho, it's a bold claim. What's up, local taxi driver? How are you, dude? Howdy to you. Serbian film wasn't made by the Jays. It was made by a Serbian guy who tried to bring social commentary to the Balkan Mafia crime hate as well, but it is, that's the story. Yep. 36-year-old Marty is going to have a rude awakening when he came back after sitting out so long, realizing that this ain't Peaches and Creamville anymore. Yep. Very true, dude. I think Usman could have done well if he got right back into it. Super Shotgun. Again, his last 3 losses, I find, were noble losses. The loss, the second Leon Edwards loss, he was winning that fight until the head kick. The third Leon Edwards loss, Leon had to cheat quite a lot. The the Khamzat Chimaev loss was 11 days off the couch. Took Khamzat Chimaev to a draw. These are very good losses. You should not have sat out for a year on your broken kneecaps. Fucked up. He fucked up. The Usman that fought Khamzat Chimaev would have beaten Buckley, but I don't think we'll see that Usman. Neither do I, dude. I think he's been gone for far too long. The Q or the Q, you know what I'm saying, Eric. You know what I'm saying. Bro, you're from Australia, right? Have you seen them giant-ass crocs that live there in person? Yes, but it's cheating. I've seen them behind glass, so it doesn't count. But I have seen with my own eyes the giant crocodiles that do live in the north of my country. I live in the south of my country. What's up, dude? How are you, man? How's that beverage you're drinking with poisonous corn syrup in it? It is literally just a black coffee with ice. Sniff. But happy Easter. God bless you on this day. Christ has risen. It's good to see you, Sniff. I love you, man. I hope you're doing well, dude. I hope you're doing very well. It's just a black coffee, bro. Not everything's a psyop, Sniff. It's just coffee and water and ice, mate. Oh, God. Yes, happy Easter Day. God, you Sniff. I bet Money Power Slap won't be a thing in 5 or 10 years. I agree, Quagmire. I completely agree, dude. Power Slap won't be a thing in 5 or 10 years. Thank you guys for being so patient with the chat. I appreciate it, guys. Again, if you want to skip the chat, that's what the power of money is for, but I will just keep on reading. The secret, they are mostly in the northern half of Oz. Most people live in the southern half. Yeah, the giant alligators and crocodiles. People don't really stress about them where I'm from because they're not a thing, and people don't really stress about them in the northern side of Australia because the people who live on the northern side of Australia are dumb. Aren't they, Thrillhouse? Shout out to the northern side of Australia. Good boy. All right, Eric. Doug, should I have bacon and eggs for breakfast or subside on a meager serving of Vegemite and toast? You are a man. Not true. You need your testosterone. You need your strength. Tomorrow will be Monday. It is back to bench pressing and deadlifting. You need to have your bacons and eggs to keep your T levels high, to keep your muscle density there, to keep your strength. We are getting ready for war, Nacho. The end is coming. Colby's fall-off needs to be studied. It does, local taxi driver. Absolutely, it does. The dude wants to be a streamer, and I don't think it's going to work out for him. I don't think he has the personality for it. My wife did 5 rounds with the boogeyman and didn't even come. You're not even reading the original meaning correctly, Dougie. Law is not written like plain English. Quote to myself by a retarded Supreme Court judge. to read the legislative selection without the first reading. The Styles Manual is why you'll all remain citizen, person, slave, birth certificate, cattle. All right, you're talking on the what is it? The sovereign individual law versus the maritime law to which we live under. I get the argument that you're making, Tim. The problem is the governments and the courts, as you know, don't care about that shit. J-Car for life, Man City for life. I guess I'm a member now. Yeah, the Guru just dropped 10 memberships, so shout out to the MMA Guru. We appreciate him around here. The way the stream works, J-Car, is I read every single person's chat. Takes me a while to get there, so you can just sit in line until we catch up if you have anything to say. If you want your chat read out immediately, that's what donations are for. Yeah, Tim, the problem is when it comes to sovereign individual law versus maritime law, the courts don't give a fuck. We tested that during the big lie. That's a good thing. I would be interesting to see those monsters in That's a good thing. I would be interested to see those monsters in person, though. Secret Talks, I'm not sure what we're talking about anymore with that one. Sorry, dude. Ian Gary definitely still throws temper tantrums. He bangs his arms and legs against the floor and yells when he can't buy his favorites. But, Layla, I wanted the Fruit Loops. You said if I let Buckley into the bedroom, we could get the Fruit Loops this week. But, Layla, I'm friends with a Croatian dude from Perth who went to jail for biting a Serb's nose off at a club. Yeah. That's what you would get from hanging around with the Croatian. They're filthy animals and they deserve to be gently nurtured. That's what I meant to say. Croatians deserve to be gently nurtured. Shout out to the Eastern Serbian brothers. Your Buckley Chandler impressions. It's not what are we doing here, Dougie. It's what are you doing here, Leo? Does this certain streamer talk to kids like Dr. Disrespect? No, this certain streamer will not be fucking talking to kids like Dr. Disrespect. That's disgusting. DP fight, alright, the Dustin Poirier fight, he eye-poked. Might have only been once, but it still supports my claim of cheating. Okay, we'll look out for that, Tim, on the next rewatch. The Australian Dr. Disrespect? Yes, exactly, dude. Dougie, Chatri is the person you were talking about. He has passion and pride about fighting and would bring international fight card to new heights. Chatri might be the guy. You know, Chatri does care about growing one. He still does have that passion. That is true, Ben. Chatri might be the one. Drinks beer and choke slams his opponent. The Aussie Disrespect. That's right. I don't remember that, Tim. Even so, one eye poke out of nearly 30 fights does not make someone a cheater that rivals John Jones. Just admit that you were wrong. Tim, Nacho has a good point here. Nacho has a good one eye poke versus John Jones, who is known for eye pokes. Although, for Tim's point of view, Islam Makhachev did get caught doping, the same way that 5 other members of Team Eagle got caught doping. So, there's that little bit of cheating there. Is there any news on Usman coming back? There is news on Usman coming back. It is very believable rumors that it is going to be him versus Joaquin Buckley. We did that one. We're catching up to Sniff. Where am I? There's Sniff. There's Nacho. Right. Sniff, Australia doesn't use filthy corn syrup like everything for you Yanks. I mean, it's just coffee and water. Taking out that long in your late 38s just seems dumb as hell. It's going to be the same story as Henry and Chandler. Yeah, you need the activity. You need to keep your body moving. You cannot stop your body moving. You can't. You've got to keep the pace going. You have to. Yeah, no, he's fucked up there. Big ups to Dougie for not putting MMA in his username. Thank you, local taxi driver. Yeah, it was overdone. It was overdone. I don't want to make the same videos that everyone else makes every single day, and I don't want it to be Dougie MMA. It's just, I wanted it to be a little bit different. So thank you for noticing, local taxi driver. It was done on purpose. The sun has risen. I agree with Sniff. Your iced coffee is a psyop, probably in multiple. It is just granulated coffee and water. I don't know how it can be a psyop. It's just coffee and water with ice. How can it be a psyop? No meat until Easter for meat. Based, Eric. If you go far enough north, isn't that just south? I need an answer. Yeah, if you go far enough north, then eventually you're heading south again. That's the way globes work. Nacho, you need both Vegemite. Vegemite activates your master cells. That is true. Vegemite is very, very high in vitamin B, I believe. Sovereign citizenship is basically just admitting you're retarded. No, it's true. It just doesn't apply to the law, to the society that we live in. What if Usman fights Francis Ngannou from Eric? He would die. Have you seen those two dumbass live streamers facing like 20 years in South Korea and the Philippines? Johnny Samoli and Vitali. I have heard of them. Johnny Somoli and Vitali. They ring names, but no, what did they do? How did they fuck up? Northern Aussies are like Aussie versions of Bryce Mitchell. This is true. They will survive the apocalypse. It will look like Mad Max, but it ain't fuel and water. But it will look like Mad Max, but it ain't fuel and water. They will war over. It will be right. It ain't fuel and water. They'll be warring over. It'll be the beer supply. Very true. Northern Aussies are fucking psychos. Tim, you need to fly to Dagestan? No, never. Nice save. Thank you, Eric. Put slap on the like. Oh, yeah, boys, while we're speaking about Dana White slapping his wife, slap the like button. Like Dana White slapping his wife. Wait, I get the Ian Gary drama and herpes, but is he for real a cuck? Let's put it like this, right? When their team goes traveling, Layla's ex-husband, who Ian Gary has taken the last name of, the middle name of, his last name, travels with them in the hotel rooms because he is his nutritionist. So Layla's ex-husband is Ian Gary's nutritionist now and has put him on this vegan diet as a professional athlete. And when the team goes traveling, they all share the same hotel room so the whole family can be together. And Ian Gary has taken... Layla's ex-husband name isn't Machado. I thought that was the whole story. Where's the Machado come from? Isn't that Layla's ex-husband? Wasn't it Layla Machado? And then Gary married her and then wanted to have the same name as the rest of the family, so all the kids felt the exact same, so he changed his middle name to Machado? Or am I getting that part mixed up? Please let me know. But the team goes out and rents a whole house together to stay in when the team goes traveling, and that's where the whole cuck story comes from. Your mustache always looked different for a second. I don't see how. I trimmed it. Dougley only talks to kids when he puts the crasters on. No, there are no kids at crasters, Kate. Notice that. All of Dagestan and Gearheads, 5 out of the team are, for sure. Mr. Scorner wanted to rep his real name on your Scorner. Oh, God. You can't make it. Sorry, Tim, sorry. Dude, I just did a screenshot of your cup in Gronk and it says it's Pepsi. Okay, it can say whatever it wants. It's coffee and water. I don't give a fuck what Gronk says if it's coffee and water and ice. They said the N-word on the stream. Well, they shouldn't have done that. After yesterday, Dougie's closer to Dougie's BKFC than Dougie's MMA. The fights on Dougie's stream yesterday were awesome. The BKFC yesterday... The Apex is dead. The Apex is fucking dead. MMA is on the decline. BKFC is on the rise. All hail the BKFC. It was phenomenal. Some dog shit random BKFC fight night card was some of the most fun I've had watching a card since the last BKFC card. The violence, the brutality, the pacing of the card. It was a thing of beauty from top to bottom. Look at the damage that the Doctor went in on 3 or 4 times. The Doctor went in 3 or 4 times, and every single time the Doctor was like, nah, bro, he's fine, let him swing. You gotta let me bang, bro. And the Doctor was like, yeah, let him bang. It was fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. Tim sent 2 to 3 days to Dagestan and forget. The lack of doctor stoppages in the BKFC is what I fucking live for. I love it so goddamn much. So much. Anyway, let me press on. They've been going to Asian countries like cunts, harassing the locals, threatening the people, all for their loser fans on the live stream. They're both facing like 20 years after all the laws they broke. Governments are going to make an example of them. Good. Good. I believe countries should uphold their laws to foreigners to the highest extent. You should welcome people into your home, but you should tell people, look, in our home, we don't wear shoes in our house. Please leave your shoes at the door. And if people want to come into your home wearing shoes, you should punish them. You should absolutely punish them. You should have a core identity as a country, and you should do everything that you can to protect that core identity. And every country is encouraged, and I support and allowed to have their own core identity. That should be encouraged. Every single country and every single nations of people should have their own home with their own ethnic culture and their own values. And countries should do everything they can to protect that. That's what makes the Garden of Earth beautiful. All the different flowers in the Garden of Earth. Otherwise, you just have a copy and paste farm where everything looks exactly the same. Layla's ex-husband's name isn't Machado. Definition of fuck around and find out. Yeah, good for them. It's her last name. It's nothing to do with her husband. Okay. So, all right, fair enough. So I was under the understanding that when she was married to her husband, she took her husband's last name, which was Machado. And then the kids had the last name of Machado. And then when Gary came along, her and Layla had their own son. And then their own son didn't have the same last name as the other kids. So he wanted the whole family unit to be the same. And that's why he changed his middle name to Machado so that everyone would match in together. That's what I thought was going on there. The nutritionist is trying to lower Ian's test count so he can stay the ball in their relationship. That's what it feels like, dude. That's what it feels like. All right, buddy. That was like 50% of mine skipped. I want a refund. What were you saying, Eric? They said we do things differently around here. Secret Talks banged his wife yesterday. Your mustache is looking terrible. I read your chats, mate. I read your chats. Vitali was a huge streamer, like a millionaire. He made it. He's now facing 20 years in a brutal Filipino prison. If you don't know about it, it's like 30 men to a cell. It's absolutely brutal. Yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head with that one, Shotgun. Fuck around and find out. Soy vegan diet versus Newports and a Henny diet. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Smoke, eat meat, be based. He might not last 5 years. Probably not. He'll probably get raped to death. The Apex has decreased. The Apex has deceased. The Apex has deceased. If there is an Apex card on or a BKFC card, I legit might just watch the BKFC card and then watch the highlights of the Apex card later. Not kidding. Not joking. If they were on side to side and I had to stream just one, I'd probably just stream BKFC and catch the highlights of the Apex. Kind of fucking dumb with the Apex. Can't wait until the CP puts his cuck on the back. Can't wait until Carlos Prates puts this cuck on the back foot and Gary will be too scared to do anything about it. He does hate being on the back fucking foot, dude. He does. He's fine, says Eric the rapist. The lack of Dr. Oh, yeah, his face getting absolutely butchered. I know, dude. It's so good. Vitali also did a Predator Hunt vid with Colby and I think Little Pump and the Nelk Boys. Oh, was that the one? Right, I did see Colby doing that. I didn't know that was Vitali. Like I said, BKFC only hires the sole good version of the doctor. I don't know what kind of doctors they have, but I love them. Dougie, the stream yesterday we had was so funny. You thought it had to be over and it's just like, he's dead, he can continue. Gentlemen, I still see a pulse here. As the doctor, as the ringside physician, I can still see a pulse. Let them fight. Just tried lentil pasta. It's terrible. Never had that. Never had that. Dougie, do an impression of Usman shattering his... shattering his knee on Bilal's blockhead. Do an impression of Usman shattering his knee on Bilal's blockhead. Okay, here we go. Oh, God. That one's gone. That one's going to be out for a while. Don't worry. You all wait. When I'll be back, I'll be back. Daddy will be ready when I'll be back. That one's all right. That one's all right. We need never be sovereign. To be sovereign as defined in law means you need your own parliament, currency, standing army, etc. I'm talking about what is defined by law in Acts law first. Okay. Styles manuals in case law. I'm talking about financial and securities law, not from law-tard amateur crap by social media cultist shills. Put there to spread falsehood, not myths or conjecture, mate, like the shit I sent you on Discord. Accurate to the sanctions of legislation. Thank you, Tim. Thank you. We can never be sovereign. That is bullshit, isn't it? The United States core identity is Aryan. Those John fellows came over from Eurosa. The United States and Australia and Canada are a little bit different because they are colonial nations. I'm talking about nations like England, Ireland, Serbia, France, Scandinavia, China, Mongolia, countries where its own ethnic people were originally there from. Other countries that were settlers and colonized, it sort of still is might is right, and you got to rule by the sword. You didn't read my comment about Chatri human trafficking minors. I legit didn't see it, Nacho. Is her last name nothing to do with her husband? That one. Send him to Dagestan. Chatri is the one to traffic humans in a shipping container. There we go. Sorry, dude. I didn't say that one. My bad, man. I didn't say that one. Chatri ships humans in a shipping container. I don't think he does. You know, he's got his own army of Taiwanese kids that fight Muay Thai for free, so I don't think he needs to do that. If you had one hit point left in BKFC, they push you back in. It's so bad. Dude, if it literally... BKFC is, if you are not dead, you will continue to fight. That is the BKFC. And I love that. I love that so goddamn much. Reading in your head doesn't count. I am the lion. You are a barking dog. I am the lion. You are about to do the shit you were sending me on Instagram yesterday. The lion does not wipe. The shit you were sending me yesterday is fucking retarded. So you do an impression of Anthony Smith coming into your home with his shoes on and then going into the fetal position when you confront him. Where's this dude that's getting close to 4,000 subscribers? Where is this guy? Where is this guy? Anthony, take your fucking shoes off. Oh, jeez. Please don't keep beating me. Keep beating me. Keep beating me. Don't keep beating me. Stop. Keep beating me. Keep going. I like it. Remember that woman in the cartoon, fucked up face, no teeth left from the BKFC, talking about how she loved it and she had a great time? That is the thing. The BKFC is a place for savages to fight each other like savages, for savages that like combat sport to go and watch them. It is a beautiful place. Which Till had a bigger fall off, Darren Till or Emmett? I would say Darren Till. Darren Till could have been great. Instead, he's just at someone's house doing lines and lines of coke. So I would say Darren Till. Oh, God. What I speak of never fails in court. Well, thank you very much, Tim. Thank you very much. I'll read it again and digest it properly. That super sounded like John Jones's wife too. It did, didn't it? Did you see when Henry Cejudo called Usman his chocolate bread? I did not see that, but I would not be surprised by that at fucking all. That podcast is one of the worst things to ever happen to combat sports. It has taken two legends, sat them on the sidelines, and now all they do is talk absolute fucking garbage and shit. It is just a waste of time that these two legends are sitting on the sidelines doing fucking nothing. Right, let us go over to, now that the chat has slowed down a little bit, let us go over to Movsar Evloev talking about his plan for Alexander Volkanovski and how he is planning to simply push him up against the cage. His words, exactly.
I think if I fight him, I'll just push him to the wall. So you don't let him run from me. Yeah, so don't let him move. I think if I fight him, I'll just push him to the wall. So you don't let him run from me. Yeah, so don't let him move. Yeah. And then he have to like do exchanging with me. So then he will tire, or I'll break him.
He's gonna push him up against the wall. Movsar Evloev's own words. I'm just going to push him up against the wall. You can't be mad at Movsar. Yes, I can. I don't even need to read the rest of that. Of course I can. You can't be mad at Movsar when you were actively supporting Volk and Ank using the same techniques. Oh, no, of course I can. Of course I can, Nacho. What you're saying here is I'm not one of those guys that doesn't pretend to not be completely biased. I am. I wanted Volk to use the power of Smush to get the win. I wanted Ank to use the power of Smush to get the win. Because I was sick of all the poetards talking about how it was the greatest thing to ever happen to combat sports when he was being gifted title shots with Khalil Roundtree when he should have been fighting Magomed Ankalaev. And how every single time I did a pound for pound list, I had to put Alex Pereira at number 2 on the pound for pound list, even though the guy at that time had proven to not have any grappling at all. I wanted Alexander Volkanovski to win because I'm, as we know, insanely Australian and massively in support of him. And now the guy that I want to lose against Alexander Volkanovski is doing the plan that I wanted, and I'm biased. I'm incredibly biased. I'm not going to pretend to be Ariel Helwani, Mr. I'm not biased, or MMA Joey, Mr. I'm not biased. I'm insanely biased. Fuck Movsar Evloev and his smush plan. It's boring and I don't want to see it. And you can call me a hypocrite because I'm openly being a hypocrite. Did you see when Henry said we did that one? Darren Till is boxing Darren Stewart. Good for Darren Till. I hope he has a great career in boxing. I truly do. I think it's great for Darren Till that he's getting his career back on track in boxing. Because it does seem like before he went to do the boxing, he was just lost in life. Hanging out at mates' houses, doing lines of cocaine. When Darren Till was like 80% of people do cocaine, I was like, That shows that 80% of the people that you hang around with do cocaine. Mobzar should spice it up and talk about how he'll make love to Volk in the octagon. I mean, that would get people like Eric on board for sure. You get all the John Jones, because John Jones still has a lot of fans. So you'd get John Jones fans on board in there. You know, I think there's a market for that. Peyton Talbot has a huge fan base. Sean O'Malley has a huge fan base. People love Marab kissing Sean O'Malley on the back. So, you know, TY, there could be something to that, mate. There could be something to that, mate. Florida Chris said, it is Dougie and Guru's old shit. No, man, I'm in my office, brother. I got this up because it's a nice clean background, you know? You don't get to see what's the mess of the office behind it, dude. Although, funnily enough, for Florida Chris, I make the daily videos in my garage. Because I go there to work out in the morning, and then I have the little studio set up right to the side of it. Dude isn't even pretending that he is going to make it exciting. I know, man. And when you've got, like, Jan Silver out there doing everything he can to try and get himself a title shot by yapping. And you've got Yair Rodriguez yapping to try and get a title shot. You've got everyone in the UFC this week is just yapping about how they want to be the one to get a title shot. Then you got Movsar Evloev going on Mike Perry's podcast, one of the most fun and exciting guys in combat sport. And he goes, I'm going to smush him against the cage for 5 rounds. Hey, Dana, give me a title shot. I know I came in ranked number 5 for some reason this week. Give me a title shot. It's like, dude, you are actively not selling the fight. What's up, Clunky? How are you, brother? Like, you are actively not selling the fucking fight. We just listened to Movsar Evloev saying he's going to push Alexander Volkanovski up against the cage for 5 rounds. So, yeah, there's that. Mr. Super organized himself Mr. Super organized himself. I love how this is what Daniel/Paul calls calls Movsar Evloev marrying a fucking 7-year-old or a 9-year-old, whatever it was. He's just very organized. That's all he is. He's just super bloody organized. Oh, God. Mr. Super organized himself is just creating false narratives. I don't feel like, dude. Where was I? All right. Isn't that Platinum Mike Perry's podcast? Yep. Definitely was Mike Perry. Play it again. Yeah, that was Mike Perry. Yeah, that was Mike Perry. That was him, my dude. I'm just going to smash him, brother. Don't need to spell it out. That's what he went with. Yeah, that's what he went with. Yeah, he's outed himself in that moment. Absolutely. Dougie and his giant wicker basket. I think the wicker basket looks clean, boys. I feel like Ilia gave up his leverage by vacating the belt. What leverage did he really have, Clunky? Like, if he wanted to go for champ status, the UFC aren't going to give him that off one title defense, are they? I don't think the fighters have as much leverage as they think they have. So what leverage are you implying that he had? Now, him saying that he's just going to sit on the sidelines no matter what and wait for his title shot, that's ballsy, and that's threatening the UFC. So I don't think he should be doing that. Are you in top chat? I'm not, brother. I'm in live chat. Why? Did someone say something that is getting blocked out? Hang on a second. Where's the chat? Where's the chat window? You can see it right. It says goal, and then it says live chat right there. Live chat. Every single chat. Yeah. Dougie should get a wicker chair and then become the wicker man. All right, thank you, Florida Chris. I should get a wicker chair. I mean, it's not going to be like this forever. You know what I mean? One day we'll set things up a little bit differently. But for now, with just a laptop and a webcam and a smartphone, you know, just a mobile phone, I think the wicker look is clean. I think it keeps it nice and clean. Mobza said in an interview, Craster is his favorite character from Game of Thrones. Well then, fuck Volk. Craster, let's go Craster's chat. Wicker Man is a goated movie, the original one. I don't think I've seen Wicker Man. I mean, how is he just a ranked guy? He was now he's a ranked guy. He was just a champion. Yeah, I get that. Now he's just a ranked guy, but he wanted to reset his legacy. So this is where I think the decision comes from, Clunky. He pretty much clocked featherweight. Like, he beat Alexander Volkanovski via knockout in the second round. I don't know if he would have done that if Alexander Volkanovski hadn't have just been chinned against Islam Makhachev. And that doubt was always going to be out there in the wider MMA community. But then he went and put a stamp on that and silenced that by knocking out the man with the greatest chin in MMA history, Max Holloway. You are not going to get a better run or set of circumstances at featherweight. He was undefeated, knocked out the GOAT of featherweight, and then went and knocked out the man that can't be knocked out in Max Holloway. After Max Holloway just came off an amazing win at UFC 300. Rather than trying to better what can't be bettered, he said, you know what, I'm done, let me put it behind, and let me go and try again at lightweight. What he's done is he's taken all of his chips, and he's gone over to a completely new table, a much harder table, and he's put all of his chips on there at once. And even if things don't work out for him at lightweight, he can always go back down to featherweight and start again. So, I don't think he's really wasted anything. I think it's actually been a very, very clever move from him. My drama with what Evloev says was he will finish Volk. Based on what? You've never finished anybody, let alone Volk. I completely agree with that. I don't... Whoa! Florida Chris. Thank you for the $5, bro. Thank you guys so much. Who is going to replace Joe Rogan on the table? Dana as the UFC face. Who's going to replace Joe Rogan on the table? Dana as the UFC face. John Jones as the heavyweight champ by the end of this year after they all retire. Thank you very much for the $5, brother. I really appreciate it. That's a lot of money, man. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, dude. Okay, so to replace Joe Rogan on the table, I wouldn't be surprised if if Netflix uses another celebrity that is a combat sports fan. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you look for another celebrity that's super into combat sports to come in and be like the common man's voice or the casual's voice, if we go with Netflix. If it was completely up to the UFC, I would think they would just have DC. I think DC is going to be the next Joe Rogan. Now, when it comes to who should replace Dana White as the face of the UFC, we talked about this a lot last week. Right now, the UFC, they have this media guy that you've recently seen at UFC London. He also does UFC Australia and he does UFC Mexico. He does all the talking on behalf of the UFC. He is dog shit at that job, and I don't think it should be him. At the pre-fight press conferences, they usually have John Anik whenever it isn't Dana White. And John Anik's pretty good, but I think the person that should take the job of Dana White, the promoter, the person who should be promoting the UFC, the one at the pre-fight press conference and the post-fight press conference and the one talking to the media on behalf of the UFC, I think it should be Chael Sonnen. I think Chael Sonnen would be the best at that job. And then the heavyweight champ by the end of this year is obviously going to be Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champ of the MMA world right now. Yeah, Tom Aspinall is the baddest man on the planet right now. They are just them's the facts. But thank you so much, dude, for the $5, man. I really, really appreciate it. Bacon and eggs have been completed with lemon, lime, Gatorade. Let's go for that. You need a Gatorade? Good on you, brother. Good on you, man. We did have quite a few beers last night. That is fair. Gronk thinks that's Pepsi. I also think Max is going to 155 and having a war with Gaethje and then moving back to 145 kind of played a factor in that fight. I also think he might have been dehydrated. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Max took a nice chunk of time to make sure that he did 155 properly. We talked about that for ages leading up to the fight against Justin Gaethje. And then he goes, and what was it, 3 or 4 months later, he's back down to 145? Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like, success is always going to be, and this is what people were, like, we were talking about again this week, success is always going to be preparation mixed with luck and timing. Always. Now, Ilia Topuria had the perfect preparation for his entire featherweight run, and then he got lucky and the stars aligned with Alexander Volkanovski being slept by Islam Makhachev and Max Holloway coming back down to 145. And when you look at all the greats of our sport, they all have moments that are just like that. Like, John Jones came into the light heavyweight division when it was a bunch of oversized middleweights and the light heavyweight division was aging out, right? GSP had his crowning achievement of winning a second belt right when Luke Rockhold happened to be the one wearing the belt. Michael Bisping happened to be the one wearing the belt. It was very good timing for GSP. Great moments in sporting history are a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill. And Ilia Topuria fell into that perfectly, where he created one of those great moments in sporting history. I don't blame him for not wanting to try and up that or keep working there at featherweight. I don't blame him at all. I think him going to lightweight is great for him. Henry Cejudo for all three. Oh my God, could you imagine Henry Cejudo at the pre-fight presses? Ugh. Who's got the next question, man? Who's got the next question, dude? Yeah, no, dude, I think that's a good question. That's the next one. Joe MMA. Joe MMA. What's up, brother? Are you streaming the LBFL tonight? I am not going to be streaming the LBFL tonight. I don't even know what the... Let's go, body fight. I'm not going to be streaming that tonight, 305 Chunks. How are you, dude? Good to see you, man. Would Chael take Dana's place? I've heard people say Cormier as well. I don't agree with Cormier. No, I don't think Cormier's got the charisma for it. No, Chael is the one. Would Chael take Dana's place? Yes. Yes. Chael would do fucking anything for a paycheck. Anything. Anything at all. Chael would do for a paycheck. He would say anything or do anything. So, yes, Chael would take him. It's got to be someone who is willing to consistently fly all over the world, and that is an exhausting job. That is true, but I think Chael would do it. I think Chael would do it. Bepsy, says Eric. I think Topuria punched Max in the face hard and he fell down, and Max fans are just coping. Could be that too. Could be that too, dude. Could be Toad. Could just be that Ilia Topuria fucking slept Max Holloway, boys, and it is what it is. The greatest chin in the world was rocked by perfect form. Fuck, I just realized it's Big H's birthday. What is everyone doing to celebrate? Okay. Joe MMA. It's Joe Mama. I did not say Joe MMA. What did you say? Oh, Joe Mama. Sorry, man. Joe Mama. That's dyslexia for you there, boys. It just... There you go. That you saw dyslexia in real time. Cormier wouldn't pass the medical as he's too obese and has type 2 diabetes. Yeah, Cormier wouldn't be able to fly around the world all the way. And I gotta say that, like... I hate listening to Daniel Cormier commentate for one reason. It doesn't happen that often when we do the live streams together because I'm talking to you guys throughout the entire fight, and I've got the commentary on very, very low volume as we're talking and watching the live streams together. But all week long, I watch the fights back. Like, I've told you guys this before. I set up my toolbox and my bucket of plaster, and I put the phone right next to it, and I just let fights play. And I listen to Daniel Cormier for hours and hours a day. The amount of times I have fucking heard that cunt with food in his mouth during a fight finish. It's the same fucking time all the time. It's either during the walk-ins or at the end of the fight when there's been a knockout and there's that little moment before they replay the replay and they need someone to talk through the replay, and you can fucking hear Cormier. Oh, that was a great knockout. You can fucking hear him eating and talking like cunt. There's so much downtime on a UFC card. You can't fucking eat during the downtime. There is so much downtime. And Cormier is mostly just... The amount of time I've heard him shoveling food into his face. What about Hunter Campbell taking Dana's place? That makes the most sense. I don't think Hunter Campbell has got that bravado. The person in charge of the UFC needs to be the person that can tell the reporters to shut the fuck up. We need someone with bravado. It's got to be someone that has a bit of... He's got to have like Trump energy. Dana energy. He's got to have bravado. It's got to be a man that's willing to tell someone to shut the fuck up when the media asks a dumb fucking question. That's the guy that needs to be steering the ship of the UFC. Again, this is fucking cage fighting, okay? This isn't a sport for politically correct nonsense. Okay? This is men locked in a cage in their fucking underwear trying to break each other's limbs or separate each other from consciousness. This is not a place for ABC, ESPN political correctness. Henry would be at the presser and you should see the top of his hair on the other side of the speaker. Henry at the speaker podium would just be like, just the fucking top of his head. I wish my problem in life would be exhaustion from traveling around the world. I know, it would be a nice life, wouldn't it, mate? Wouldn't it? Dana is awesome for the long time because he said a lot of us thought in the moment. Yeah, and that goes back to my point that I just made. Yeah, no, I agree. Daniel, formerly known as Paul. Who would be the best to replace Bruce Buffer? I don't know, but it's not fucking Martinez, that's for sure. It's not Martinez. BKFC guy was pretty good yesterday, wasn't he? The BKFC guy was pretty good. He was pretty good. The Cage Warriors guy, I don't think his voice is deep enough. The Eternal guy's dog shit. Yeah, I don't know. Probably the BKFC guy. Eating at the desk, it's the worst, man. It's the way. In fact, I shouldn't even be having chewing gum here. It's the worst. Do you think John Jones could actually hold true to his word? He actually could unalive DC, or is DC correct in saying that he could defend that type of it? No, John Jones could absolutely kill DC. Absolutely. Chins are somewhat a thing, but at a certain point, it's just biology. If you hit the great blockhead Marvin Vettori with a baseball bat right on the jaw, even he would go out cold. I get the point that you're making, Toad, but I disagree. I don't think a fucking Mack truck could knock out Marvin Vettori, brother. I don't think anything could knock out Marvin Vettori. Dana is nor charismatic. Dana isn't charismatic either. He is just a dickhead. Yeah, but alright, maybe braggadocious, bravado. Are these better words? MMA clunky? Are these better words too? There's a certain... I don't know what the word is. Tell me what the word is. But you know what I'm trying to get at here. There is a certain chest pumpingness that is required to steer the helm of this great organization. Dana is charismatic. I mean, he must be charismatic. He's taken over the business world. There is a reason that every single fucking board... He just joined another... Did you guys say this? He just joined V-Chain's board of directors. He just joined another fucking company's board. Like, every fucking company in the world is trying to get Dana White on board. So there must be something to him. Vote Dougie as the head of the UFC. Mate, if I was the head of the UFC, it would be... We would be fucking flying, boy. I'm telling you, if I was in charge of the UFC, WMMA would be gone tomorrow. First bit of business, WMMA, gone. Goodbye. 125 division open, 165 division open. Contender series all year long. Done. Fighters and their contracts, if you do not want to fucking fight who is given to you, fine, no worries. You're fighting on the prelims against a nobody. And this idea of your contracts can only go up? No, not happening. No. I will offer you a cheaper contract on your next contract. I will offer you less for your next contract if you don't take the fights that I give you. And if you don't fucking like it, go nuts. Go to another fighting organization. Go to the PFL. I guarantee you they're not going to be in business in 5 years anyway. Get absolutely fucked. Dougie listening to the UFC commentary while plastering his commitment, brother. I know, because I'm watching, like, I'm going back and forth, and I'm watching, looking, working, looking, glancing. But yeah, it's just DC eating my fucking ear. Florida Chris, I'm fairly certain John was referring to shooting DC when he said he would actually get... Well, yeah, that too. He would actually just straight up shoot him, right? Nate Diaz could replace Bruce. Nate Diaz could replace Bruce. Hold up, coming into the ring, 145 pounds is Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And then, who's this little motherfucker? Fuck that, I ain't saying all that. Mobsphere is coming down. Okay, touch gloves. Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is for the 145 Fuck saying all that, let's get this fight on. You know, Nate Diaz would actually do an alright job. Hell, fuck reading all that. And then whenever there's a scorecard that's clearly a robbery, and the winner between Cyril Gunn and Alexander, yo, hold up, Cyril Gunn, nah, fuck that. Just throws a water bottle at Cyril Gunn. Get the fuck out of here. It's Daniel the artist formerly known as Paul. That's what we'll go with. Yeah. Marvin Vettori is already unconscious. That's his secret. You can't knock out that which has no conscious. And Eric the therapist just says the lion. I don't see Dana going anytime soon, but Joe Rogan would be gone with him too. Pretty much the whole branding will have a big change. It'll be different from what it is now. Yeah, well, I think give it a year. Secret Talks, 2 years. I think we're done with that. I think we're going through the change now. We're seeing it now, man. Dana White is a brand, kind of like Trump. Yeah, and it takes someone like that. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I do not like Trump politically that much, it takes a man of that nature to control the UFC. Like, that is something that is... You need that. You need someone like that. Opponents that hate one simple trick, two smelly fingers. Not sure what is going on there. Or is he just Jewish? Don't know what you mean by that one either, Eric. Dana White wants to be the hardest working man in the sports business. Yeah, he absolutely does, Johnny. He does. It just doesn't want to be with the UFC anymore. He wants it to be with TKO. Dougie was El Jefe of the UFC. The women's fighters would be the ring cards girls, and the heavyweights would be the security. Yeah, no, if I was in charge of the UFC, there wouldn't be any women's fighters. And the heavyweights, like I said, there'd be a very way to fix that. What's up, Steven's son? Marvin the Martian. How are you, dude? There'd be a very easy way to fix heavyweights. Steroids and the V test. Dougie getting cancelled on his first week as head of the UFC, stopping WMMA. The run was good while it lasted. It's a waste of time. Exactly, you would do a better job at managing the UFC than Dana. He has led the UFC downhill. He has, mate, because he's tried to put the UFC on autopilot, and you can't have growth when you're on autopilot. Steven's son says, Daniel still has his congealed twin's torso attached. Fucking hell, mate. That's why he's so thick, because there's two of him there. This needs to be a tier list. Fighters that could replace Dana. That's not bad. Yeah, that's a good one. Dana is definitely charismatic in his own way and a larger-than-life character. Much better than any boring suit like any other sport. Yeah, and we need a larger-than-life character. We're a larger-than-life sport. We're not fucking kicking a blown-up ball of leather through two goalposts, right? We're not basketball. We're not football. We're not soccer. We're not fucking hockey. They're all the exact same thing. Take a round object, put it in between something else. This is not our sport. This is not our sport. Our sport is two guys in a cage. One man leaves with his consciousness or his body fully working. This is not a normal sport. This is what I like these fucking retards need to understand. When people are like, oh, the political correctness in the UFC, oh, this fighter said the F word, oh, this fighter doesn't care about Pride Month, oh, this fighter, like, this is not the fucking sport for you, mate. This is not the place for you. Everyone deserves to have their own space. Everyone deserves to have their own space. Like, women can enjoy women's sports. Men can enjoy men's sports. The politically correct woke people can enjoy their sports. You know, people can have basketball. Everyone deserves their own space. But the fucking savages, the ones that still want to go out and bow hunt and kill elk and watch two guys in a cage try and fucking kill each other, they deserve their space too. And this is their space. And if you don't like it, go and watch one of the thousands of other sports. Fuck off. Please. You are welcome to fuck off. Stop ruining our space. This is our space. The space where two fucking sickos go in there and try and hurt each other badly for life. And what do they get in return? Eternal fucking glory. We will never forget their names. That is what they get in return. What's up, Paradox? Good to see you, dude. MMA Joey's story arc peaks as Joe Rogan's replacement in 3... Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. No. You need someone that throws shit back at the reporters like Dana White does from time to time. Yeah, absolutely, man. You need someone with a bit of fucking, cojones. Imagine if you put Dominic Reyes' torso on Sean Woodson's legs, you would get a normal-looking man. Poor Sean Woodson. If you don't like Trump, why do you keep sending me drawings you've completed of him tastefully nude? I mean, you got to study your enemies, Nacho. You've got to study your enemies. Dougie is the ideal ring girl. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. All Dana is good at is ripping people off and being a dickhead to the fighters. No, not true. No, not true. No. Dana can sell. Dana could sell ice to an Eskimo. This sport is two sweaty half-naked men coming in to bang. That's right. You gotta let them bang, bro. You gotta let them bang. I think the UFC is doing good and is even bigger than WWE now. If Dana wants to work, he should just stick the UFC rather than bullshit new stuff like power slap boxing stuff, which will never work out. I think the boxing stuff will work out for him, and I think the boxing stuff is I think he sees it as his life's greatest work, to be honest. Because, again, like Dana White came up in the boxing world. He was rejected by the boxing world. He then destroyed the boxing world, or nearly destroyed the boxing world when it came to the UFC. It took influences like Jake Paul to save boxing, and it took money like Saudi Arabian money to save boxing as well. So Dana was very close to destroying the boxing world, which when you think about it, like that as a story, man. Like imagine being some dude who used to carry Floyd Mayweather's... Who was it? Was it Floyd Mayweather or Floyd Mayweather's dad? Some dude that used to carry, like, the clothes for the boxing community that told you to go fuck itself. And then you took a business that was $4 million in debt and turned it into the sport that was killing your enemies. And now a fucking prince of another country, a billionaire prince, is asking you to steer the helm of that sport that rejected you, that you nearly single-handedly destroyed. The Dana White story is, quite frankly, unbelievable. It is unbelievable when you put it into its proper context. It's insane. How are you, Paradox? I hope you're doing well, man. Base Dougie rant, those wokey fucks just invading and trying to ruin every male space these days. Yeah, I know, and I'm not saying that, like, they shouldn't have their own sport. They should have their space. They should go have their have women's hockey. Fucking go nuts. Go watch women's hockey till the fucking go great. Have NBA. You want to have your split? Go have NBA. Go fucking nuts, mate. Enjoy it. That's yours. It's all yours. You don't see a bunch of fucking truckers going up to women's hockey being like, oh, this isn't tough enough. We need to change it to make it more brutal. They just let them do their fucking thing. Go do your thing. Let us have our thing. Fuck off. Fuck off, for fuck's sake. Fuck off and leave us the fuck alone. UFC pay-per-view average is really low compared to the past. They don't do shit at promoting fighters. They let the fighters promote themselves. Yeah, they are shit at that. They've gone into... So, Clunky, I've talked about this a bit. The old chat members are probably sick of me hearing you talk about it, so I'll just surmise it quickly. The UFC used to be a promotion company because they wanted the sport to grow. Now that the sport has grown, the UFC is a production company, so everything they do is just on a copy and paste repeat cycle where they just do the same thing again and again and again for the lowest price possible because they're just producing fights rather than promoting fights like they used to. Who would have won between Khabib and Matt Hughes in their prime? Khabib, Ishmael, Inshallah, Khabibillah. Khabib would have. Everyone mentioning replacements for Dana are missing the clear choice that Dana has already appointed waiting in the shadows. The Dark Lord Ben Rothwell. 20 people watching, hit the thumbs up button. Go on, boys, hit the thumbs up button. Go on, boys, help the channel grow. We're coming for Anthony Smith and his subs. 4.6 thousand subs has Anthony Smith. 2.4 has Dougie's Corner. I want to have more subscribers than the light heavyweight title contender Anthony Smith, ESPN desk analyst, co-host of Michael Bisping's extremely successful podcast. Believe you me, if some fucking dead shit plasterer from Melbourne can get more subscribers than Anthony Smith, oh my god. Poor Anthony Smith. Oh my god. Petition for Daniel to change his name back to Paul. I like Daniel, the artist formerly known as Paul. That's not bad. Kenny, I feel like if Dougie was president of the UFC, Chap would win a bet somewhere along the line and he'd have to a ring girl for one event. This needs to be an AI image for a friend of... No, do not encourage him. Do not encourage him. Stop it. Who wins in hand-to-hand combat to the death? Crasta? The kind or Dutch the devious. Crasta the kind or Dutch the devious. Who wins? Oh, Crasta, easily. Crasta's out there fucking getting it done with the wildling girls, yeah? Taking the boys out to meet the ghost spirits in the forest, yeah? Crasta is there telling the entire run of the Black Brothers to go and fuck themselves. What does Dutch do? Dutch just sits in his tent and asks everyone else to do all the work. Dutch is fucked. The rags to riches story is actually pretty... Yeah, I don't think people, like, properly visualize the story of Dana White. Like, it is unbelievable. Dana White's story is unbelievable. He used to carry Floyd Mayweather's bags literally at the hotel check-in. And if it wasn't for a Saudi Arabian prince saving boxing, he would have single-handedly destroyed boxing. Not single-handedly. Dana White had help with the Fertitta brothers and Chuck Liddell, but Dana White would have destroyed boxing. And he used to carry their sweaty workout clothes. Used to carry their bags. And then that same prince that saved boxing saw how well Dana did at destroying it. He's asked him to helm boxing. It's a fantastic story. A fantastic story. Petition for Nacho to change to Peña's Taco Sampler. Nacho would enjoy that. How much do the pay-per-views cost in Australia? They used to cost $60 back when I used to buy them. I think now they cost $70 and you need a $25 KO subscription. What's up, Captain Rafolo? How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. That's actually not a bad idea. There you go. Anthony Smith explaining to the cashier at the grocery store why Dougie is catching up to him on some... So how's your day going? Yeah, not good. I'm actually a little bit down. There's this retard from Melbourne, this Aussie retard, and I don't know. I mean, I've been in the game I've been doing the ESPN analyst desk for years now, and his subs just keep growing and growing. I don't know what's I mean, on paper, I've got a much better podcast, but his sub count just keeps growing. I don't know what's happening. Dude, well, that's sad to hear, sir. That'll be $49.99. $49.99. Oh my god, how am I going to afford this? Dougie just really wants to round them up and put them into their own special play. Exactly, mate. Like a sort of roped off, walled off area where they can have their own place. A sort of place where they can have their own concentrated levels of a sort of place where they can concentrate in on each other. I thought you'd like that, Nacho. There you go. Dougie, I sent you a video in the Discord. You gotta let me bang, bro. Is it the old you gotta let me bang, bro video? Love it, mate. Love it. The commenter known as Daniel, formerly known as Paul, says, Nacho, Daniel, the artist formerly known as Paul, has lore to it. Yeah, he's got lore in the channel. He's one of the boys now. Just like Blueprint, you know, he's got a story in the channel. Just like our Weston used to be a mod and lost his moderator when in the great mod purge of the channel. It's one of the channels. It's one of the channel's stories now. I liked it, you soy beta male. I don't know what you're talking about anymore, Quagmire MMA. I'm sorry, mate. I've missed that one. Sam Alvey versus Tyrone Sponge. I'm so hyped. Karate Combat. Good luck to him. Good luck to Sam Alvey, mate. You keep mentioning it. I had to share it. Fair enough. Which one are we talking about? Dougie S. Oh, you gotta let me bang, bro? Yeah. Bloody good. Bloody good stuff. Who wins between Prime Ronda Rousey versus Kayla Harrison? Oh, they went together at training. I think Ronda beat Kayla at training. So I think Ronda, dude. Craster is the GOAT. Craster is the true GOAT. How badly does Dana White beat Chatri in a boxing match? Pretty fucking badly. Beats the shit out of him. I agree. Fighters should be made more, but at the same time, if they pay every fighter McGonagall, the fighters wouldn't have to drive anymore. Plus, the fighter's income one fight is the average of one man's yearly salary. Yeah, so, Secret Talks, we've talked about this a bunch. I believe that if you sign a 5-year deal with the UFC, you should be paid a average wage, the medium income wage of your country over that 5-year period with the UFC, and you should get knockout bonuses along the way. However, if you complete a certain amount of fights within that 5-year period, you have a multiplier on the end of that gets paid out at the end of your contract. So what this does is, it is encouraging activity with the fighters while they're in the UFC, but it offers them a big payout that they deserve at the end of their contract, which they can enjoy once they're done fighting. Do you see how this pay structure forces the fighters to fight often, but when their career is over, they get a lot of money? Rather, what we do now is we sign them up for 3-fight deals that keep incrementing, and by the time they get paid a lot of money, they don't want to fight that often anymore. You got to pay them a lot on the back end of their contract when their contracts are over, and you can do that via a multiplier at the end of it. And then when they get to the end of that contract, you can say, right, you have earned X amount of money. If you re-sign on for another 5 years, we'll double that. So it keeps pushing their payment out to a later and later date while keeping them active inside the sport. Pay-per-view was $50 last time I bought it, and I didn't need any subscription. It was Islam versus Dusty. Oh, okay, so you didn't need to go through KO. All right, cool. I thought we had to go through KO now. All right, awesome. There you go. I didn't know. Number 1, Izzy Glazer is Kenny Okoye. Just dropped a video calling for Izzy versus Delidze. The fall-off is insane. Kenny is the Saudi version of is the Nigerian version of me. I back all the Aussie fighters. Kenny Okoye backs all the black fighters. I get what he's doing. It's fair enough. It's a great gimmick. I do the same thing myself. Izzy versus Roman Delidze, huh? Yeah. No. I mean, what else is Izzy gonna do, Toad? Who else is Izzy gonna fight? Caio Borralho? Caio Borralho beats the shit out of Izzy. Secret, that's exactly the problem. Oh, geez, I've just been compared to Blueprint, backhanded No, I mean, like, you have aura in the channel. You have a place in the channel, you know what I mean? You've got a story in the channel, you know what I mean? Kenny has maximum aura in the chat. Kenny has a certain something in the chat. I don't know if aura is the word. Autism, maybe. Julian Lane, tough legend. I do let you bang, bro. I do let you bang. Bro, you gotta let me bang. Who wins? Ronda Rousey versus Floyd Mayweather, you know. To see Ronda win the belt was the most beautiful moment of my life. Yeah, obviously Ronda beats Floyd Mayweather, mate. I'm still on that 2008 hype train. Kenny Glazing himself, no one else will, Timmy. No one else will. The Saudi thing, though, is they have an unfathomable amount of money and they are looking for gimmicks to buy. Like giving freaking Cristiano Ronaldo 80 million euros at 37 years old. They're doing the same thing to the UFC. Yeah, they're flooding the UFC with money, which isn't good for longevity at all. Kayla is a 2-time gold. Ronda is 1 4th place bronze. It's not even close. Oh, okay, all right. Because I thought Kayla Harrison and Ronda Rousey trained together at the same place to get into the Olympics, and I thought Ronda did better, but I could absolutely be wrong about that. Paradox, according to Joe Rogan, obviously Ronda Rousey beats up Floyd Mayweather, of course. Dougie, that pay structure is an awesome idea. I just can't see any manager agreeing to it. No, well, I don't know. This is what the UFC and TKO are trying to do with boxing now. They're trying to get young boxers that have no other option onto a new pay structure. It's sort of what you got to do with the UFC. Like, you have to offer Contender Series guys, the new guys that have no other choice, you got to offer them that kind of pay structure. Obviously, the old heads aren't going to go for it, but that is a problem that will be fixed within 10 years. That is a 10-year problem that fixes it. Those fighters that are agreeing to their contracts now are going to be retired in 10 years' time. And this is what TKO and Dana White are going to be doing with boxing. Like, all the boxers are like, no boxer, no Floyd Mayweather isn't going to, or Canelo isn't going to get paid what a UFC fighter gets paid. That's a joke. That's garbage. And TKO and the UFC are like, yeah, cool, bro. No worries. See you in 7 years. See you in 7 years when Canelo's retired and we have all the talent and they're all on ours and you don't have any fucking talent left. People forget, man. People forget. Joe Rogan said Ronda Rousey would beat up Floyd Mayweather, man. Encouraging activity by increasing pay as they win within 4 months is the way. Again, you don't want them to have money within their career, Shotgun, but you want them to have guaranteed money at the end of their career to encourage them to keep fighting and to keep that multiplier rising and rising and rising, in my personal opinion, man. Facts like a machine. It's like a pension, basically. Basically, yeah, it's like a pension, and it's based on activity. So the more active you are for the company, the more you deserve to get paid. I 100% believe in that. I believe that you deserve to get paid what you are worth, absolutely. And fighters do deserve to get paid a lot of money. They are sacrificing brain damage for life. We can't pay them while they're fighting, because why would they keep fighting? So once you're done, then you can get paid. And it's not like this is an unsolvable problem. Like, most fighters' careers are done by the time they're 40. I know there's some exceptions, but most fighters' careers are done by the time they're 40. So they get paid at the end. Yeah, they get paid at the end. So the more you fight, the more the multiplier goes up by the end of your contract. And again, the UFC has set up PIs around the world where you can go there and you can train for free. You get paid a livable wage. We look after your medical bills at the PI. We look after your food at the PI. If you don't live near a PI, that's fine. We still pay you a regular livable wage. You are still an athlete under the UFC umbrella. But the more you fight, the more your contract multiplier goes up. And when you're done and you get paid out. If you stay in the UFC and you keep fighting, you keep going. You keep multiplier keeps raising and raising and raising and raising. Think about how much fucking money Jim Miller would have on this pay structure. Saudi even recently added taxes, which is haram, according to them. Removed a large portion of the Gatch and energy subsidies to make up for wasting their money, all the gimmicks. Like the Lion City and the Cube City. No shit. So even Saudi is going to be changing now that they're on the board. I mean, makes sense. They can't keep running their economy the way they have forever. I would retire before having to go down to a Roman Dolidze level of fight. I agree. Yeah, if I was Izzy, I would just hang up the gloves now, man. On this day of Jesus, I followed his word, and I would ostracize my family for not embracing him. True, Tim. Yes. Fair. My mum has messaged me already. Happy Easter. Many times. Pay everyone less except Cheeto. What's up, Woeful? Good to see you, man. So they get a payday at the end. Yep. So, okay, after Dougie's cancellation for stopping WMMA as the president, he gets reinstated for his pay structure idea and then cancelled again when he loses a bet to the chat of the general MMA community and has to become a ringside girl for one pay-per-view. It would be a hell of a ride, Paul. It would be a hell of a ride, dude. Looking at BJ Penn's health makes me think they definitely deserve a fat paycheck at the end of their career. They do. They deserve a fat paycheck at the end of their career. They absolutely do. Miss me, I fight once every 12 months, 0 bonuses, 1.5. Miss me, fight once in 12 months, 0 bonuses, 1.2 times 5, 1.0 third. Yeah, what's up, Coach Nate? Good to see you, dude. How are you, man? Yeah, exactly. Coach Nate is onto it here, right? I did miss you, Coach Nate. I hope you're doing well, man. Fight once in 12 months, you get no bonus. Twice is 1.25. 3 times a year is 1.5. Exactly. This just keeps multiplying. And the more you fight, the more you get paid. It's better for the company. It's better for the organizer. It's better for everyone. This is how you fix this problem. We need to, the incentive structure needs to be around activity and knockouts. So pay for activity and knockouts. But the problem is, when they get paid in their prime, they don't want to keep fighting. So pay them after. Pay them when they're done. This is a very easy problem to fix. I don't know why Charles Oliveira and your year sitting around for undeserved title shot off a one-fight win streak, even off an old Bellator can. No, we don't want that shit. We want them active, movement. Get them moving. I agree, Toad. I'm getting glizzies stuck in my throat and I'm choking on them. Okay, Kenny. We needed that. We were getting too legit there. That does sound like a logical contract. I knew Dougie was Jewish. He understands the law too well. This guy just thought of an incentive pay structure. I smell cap. Why the fuck are my comments getting censored? I'm not even saying anything bad. I said Izzy's chin is shot from the Powhatan fights and he should fight GM3 and then retire. Dude, why are yours getting censored? I have no idea. You're the mod. You're the channel's mod. I'm still on live chat. There it is right there. Live chat. Your comments should be coming up. I am sorry, Nacho. I do not know what is happening. I don't know why the mod of the fucking channel is getting censored. That is fucked. Izzy's chin from the Powhatan, so he should fight GM3 and then retire. That is even more embarrassing than fighting Roman Dolidze, brother. I have random words censored too. Eric, your words are not random. Show, win, bonus, 4 active. Exactly, Coach Nate. Coach Nate gets it. Getting paid after is retarded as fuck. What happens if the company goes bankrupt in the meantime? You put the money into an escrow account. So at the end of every financial year, you take the money that the fighters are owed at the point of their contracts and you put it in an escrow account. So if the company goes bankrupt, that money is still there. It's still being paid for. So you're not running the company like the fucking government. You're not running the company like the government does with our retirement fund, where they're spending everybody's retirement fund that we're paying. Like, everyone's paying into Social Security today, and the government is spending it all today, plus some. No. At the end of every financial year, you put the money aside in a third-party safe account. Like, again, all of this has a very simple answer to it. It's not a fallacy at all. It's a fucking smart idea. You do not be the government and take everybody's pensions and retirement and then spend it on today's money at interest, just assuming that the country is going to make 3 times more money tomorrow. You don't do that at all. You take the money that is for tomorrow and you put it aside and you don't fucking spend it. I mean, yeah, I say shit, but then the word fight is censored. How is fight censored? We're talking about a fight company. Imagine how sick cards would be with that bonus structure. Every fighter would be starving to fight 3 or 4 times a year. Exactly, Shotgun. You incentivize activity. Imagine he gets subbed by GM3. Oh my god, if Izzy got subbed by GM3, fucking hell. Oh my god. Every pay-per-view would have at least 2 championship fights and every fight would be filled with top contenders. Yeah, it'd be fucking sick. It's called indentured servitude, guys. I'll pay you at the end. I promise. Escrow is just a fallacy. We get morons fighting for pennies while the organizations get rich. Yes, too smelly. This is what we're going to have in the compound. Yes, GM3 can sub anyone on his day. He can, dude. GM3 could sub Izzy. The Earth being a sphere is a fallacy. That's true, brother. You got to read your Bible. Like boxing back in the GOAT era in the 70s, all the top fighters were fighting 4 to 6 times a year. Yeah, shotgun. Nacho's too spicy for YouTube. He is, mate. And in the Pride area, when they had Crocop like fighting 10 times in 2 years at his peak, this is what we need. Fights. Fighters actually fighting. Fighters, not low effort fight. Like, we're at the point where people say the fighters get paid too much, and fucking Marvin Vettori and Jack Hermanson can fight once every 2 years. Sorry, but Topuria fucked up by vacating the belt. What's up, Giuliano Agente? Good to see you, brother. How are you, man? What's up, dude? Thank you for the $5, bro. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Shout out to Giuliano Agente, the big names on MMA YouTuber jumping in today. Fucking Guru was here a while ago saying what's up as well. How are you, Giuliano? Hope you're well, man. Happy Easter, dude. Or happy holidays, however you celebrate, mate. Ilia, sorry, but Topuria fucked up by vacating the belt. How so, man? How so? Why do you reckon he did? I think this is a great move. I mean, he already perfected his featherweight run. Why not try again at lightweight? And if he fucks up at lightweight, he can go back to featherweight. How did he fuck up, brother? Where am I at? The structure you mentioned makes it more corporate, which I think means more discipline to the sport. Sadly, the UFC ain't going to do it. No, the UFC aren't going to do it. We're just fantasizing here on what I would do if I was in charge of the UFC. But yeah. Again, this is how I would run the UFC. Yeah. Australia doesn't exist. Remember in Flat Earth Theory? Let's keep it that way. True. I'm just floating in a ball of space right now. This doesn't exist at all. Escrow account is usually a bond, not an account. Well, I mean, again, you could have it in a third-party account, Tim. You could have it in a third-party account managed by a law firm to make sure everything is on the up and up. Like this, there are answers to this. I missed 3 title fights on a pay-per-view. So do I, Johnny boy. So do I. Imagine if we start a sport where we have fighters locked in a cage with limited rules and you mix the martial arts. $1 billion idea, boys. This is what we are going to be doing. This is what we are going to be doing at the compound, mate. Giuliano says he didn't perfect the featherweight run. He could have held the belt as Volk did for the first Islam fight. I don't think the UFC would have let him do that because he didn't have enough title defenses. Remember, Giuliano, you know this. I don't need to teach you MMA history. Volk had quite a few defenses under his belt for the UFC before he got the Islam Makhachev fight. Ilia Topuria didn't have that. Ilia Topuria had 1 defense, and he wants to do it quick. You know what I mean? He wants to be efficient with his fucking. He wants to get in, get out, and get on to the next one. The hardest thing about MMA for the winner is usually the weight cut. The hardest thing... What do you mean about for the winner? Why? I understand that the weight cut is fucking hard, Coach Nate. But what do you mean for the winner? Do you mean in the Ilia Topuria thing? The hard thing for him is staying at 145? And Kenny says, my name is Dougie, and I love Kenny. Facts, Giuliano. What's up, Gilly? What's up, Gilly? Everyone's saying shout out to Gilly. Who is the third party holder of the Escrow account, Dougie? The Fighters Association? No, it'll just be some law firm, mate. Just make it some law firm. Make it some sports law firm. Or, you know, since the UFC is now doing... now that the UFC is going to be going into partnership, you know, you could have it as Netflix could be the third party account. Guarantor. You could have Netflix be the guarantor. You could have ESPN be the guarantor. You could have one of these big organizations be the guarantor. What if the firm holding it... But it doesn't matter if the firm holding it goes under. The account is in third-party hands. Like if the firm holding it goes under, you just move the control of the firm's accounts to another one. Companies go under all the time, and... No fighter is going to let their money that they've earned being held in an escrow. It is being held in an account that is being guaranteed. A third party can't... No, that is not the way it works. That is not the way any of this works. Even when a company goes into a receivership, someone comes in to take over the finances to make sure everyone gets paid out. Like, it just... This is... You guys are living in a fucking fantasy world. This is the worst idea. No, it isn't. You guys are like, what if the money is in an account that is being managed by a law firm. It doesn't matter if that law firm goes under. The money is still there. Like, you are living in this fucking fantasy world where there is going to be some guy that is just going to go in there and just take all the cash out and embezzle it himself. Like, that is not the fucking way business works on $1 billion level. We did that one. Yair's reasoning for a title shot is justifiable. He got finished 2 out of his 3 last fights, and he just beat Pitbull. Yair's reasoning is not absolutely justifiable at all. Although, if Yair was promised a title shot by the UFC, I see why he is on this run. I get it. Like, the UFC promised him a title shot. They shouldn't have done that. But it's not justifiable at all. Ilia is the GOAT if he smokes Islam. He's up there. I don't know if it makes him the GOAT. I said happy Easter first. MMA needs less securitization, not more. Securitization, not. MMA needs less securitization, not more. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I agree. Marab explaining Social Security. You see, what happens is we all pay into a big pot, and the country is meant to grow, but if it doesn't grow, then you have to import other people to make the country grow, but they destroy the country. So the whole thing is really just a pyramid scheme scam, and it's falling apart in front of our very eyes. Tim goes on about escrow. Tim, get on him about how... Oh, right, you're talking to Tim. Because Ilia is not getting a title shot, and he is getting smashed and sent back to his weight class... but if he doesn't get smashed, it's the greatest play ever made, man. Ilia did more at featherweight than Conor. He did, Coach Nate. True. Kevin Holland would fight 10 times a year with that structure, making a big old bonus. True. Well done, Dougie. Tested and not found wanting. Thank you. What if the law firm... Hold on, we did that one. No fighter is going to let their money they've earned be held in escrow. Well, they fucking should. They spend their money like fucking retards. Third party could steal it. They wouldn't. I'll take care of the funds. I wouldn't mismanage it at all. Of course you wouldn't, TY. Don't want it to be Netflix was experiencing Tyson versus Paul. Yeah, I know. They fucked that up. But they've been running the NFL, and I think they're doing fine with it. Ilia won't beat Islam, bruv. No, I know he won't. No, I agree. Nor Armin. Probably not Oliveira. He beats Dustin. He beats Gaethje. But he could have stayed at 145, had 2 more defenses minimum before claiming to have cleaned the division out. That's true. Sorry, but Ilia Topuria fucked up by winning the belt. No, that is true. That is true, what you're saying. But I think it's making it more exciting for him. I don't think it's a fuck-up. I think he's gambling right now, and we don't know if the gamble hasn't paid off until he's actually gone and done it. Now, I have been saying for ages, before Ilia Topuria gave up the belt, I've been saying for months now, months and months and months, Ilia Topuria isn't going to beat Islam Makhachev. I agree with you on that. We don't know if he's fucked up until the gamble is done. What we know right now, Giuliano, is that he is gambling. He is gambling his career right now. Now, we don't know if it's going to fuck up until the dice is rolled, essentially. We don't know yet. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, dude. We'll see what happens. Dougie, for fuck's sake, you missed this one. The compound takes care of the third-party account. You'll need middle management, lower management, and mid-management, the compound. Doug Craster's compound. This is a worse idea than fighting on the basketball court. It isn't. Mike Tyson fought 15 times in 1985, 13 times in 1986. Imagine being this level of activity to the UFC fighters. Exactly, Super Shotgun. This is what we need, mate. Dougie loves Kenny. You're absolutely right, Kenny. I do. You're unhinged and I love it. Ilia should just defend his belt and wait until Islam moved up and retired a guy like Armin to get the belt and moved up. That would have been way safer, not nearly as exciting. You guys are right. Ilia should have done that or could have done that, and that would have been way more exciting, way more safer for Ilia Topuria. But the reason why I said Ilia Topuria is taking all of his fucking chips and pushing them onto the table, the reason I made that example is because Ilia is fucking gambling it all right now. He is going for fucking glory right now. Yeah, Doug, money never gets mismanaged, does it? It does, dude. It does. It does. It does. It does. Money does get mismanaged by fucking retards that don't know what they're fucking doing. Like everything that we have seen happen at the GFL. It does. All the time. By fuckwits. But when you actually do things properly and set them up properly, it doesn't. There is a way to do things right and there is a way to do things wrong. And if you do this right, the money that is there and that is earned at the end of every financial year can be put away safely into a well-managed account by a third party. You could even have guarantors to sign on to it as well. So this is not that big of a problem. I understand where you're coming from with poking holes in it, but these are fair questions to ask, and these are fair points to make, but they are not unsolvable problems. In fact, they're quite easy to solve. Just hide your money under your mattress? Yeah, fuck. Yeah, just buy gold and stash it in the walls. Like I said, bro, you're not found wanting on this aspect of financial law. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it, dude. Where the fuck was I? Shit. Where the fuck was I? There we are. Okay. Dougie has dealt with the money or shekel or two in the day. He knows the ins and outs. Or you can just immediately give the money to the employee like every other company does. No, that is the problem that we're facing right now, Toad. We don't want these fighters to have their money in their prime, otherwise they don't fight often. Dougie keeps these money in seashells and kangaroo bones and armadillo scales. That is the future, mate. When the apocalypse arrives, you're going to wish you had a bunch of armadillo scales to wear as armor. There is no way compound mismanagement of the way the middle management... there is no way the compound will mismanage the funds when it has you and me at middle management, me at lower middle management. I've got a good feeling about the corner's crypto coin. I will not be receiving any social security checks. No, none of us will be. It's going bankrupt. Make him the GOAT. 3 GOATs in the biggest, toughest divisions makes him the GOAT. Makes him the GOAT. He beat 3 GOATs from the toughest divisions. It makes him the GOAT. I don't think it does. I think he needs a little bit more. I don't know, Coach Nate. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. There's so many great fighters that have done so much. I don't know, man. I'll let the chat decide. Now let me catch up. Yair deserves a title shot at lightweight and featherweight. Why are you going from Cheeto to Yair maxing all of a sudden, Woeful? Big fact, Paul. We'll be the masters of embezzling Doug's money. Wait, I shouldn't have said that out loud. This is why you guys aren't coming to the fucking compound. That shit won't be a thing by the time I'm of age. No, it won't. No, it'll all be bankrupt. It'll all be completely gone. Be completely gone. Be completely gone. Social security and all that shit be fucking gone. Bankrupt. Gone. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. Just like the Soviet Union. Goodbye. Gone. Just like Rome handing over its empire to the other kings, to the Gothic kings. Gone. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Gone. All over. Yair would be more deserving than a title shot than Colby. Yair would be more deserving than a title shot with Colby Covington. That is true. Yair is more deserving than Colby Covington's title shot against Leon Edwards. That is true. Got a big mouth full of Dougie, says Kenny the Bloody Ripper. That is true, Dougie. Don't know which part I said. Ilia matches up really well against Islam. High IQ, explosive boxing, and no fear of the takedown. Better Volk everywhere except probably with the gas tank. I feel like Islam Makhachev is going to clinch up Ilia Topuria and knee the fuck out of him, Coach Nate. I think he's going to put a knee through his fucking skull. Yeah, I think Islam is going to destroy Ilia Topuria, in my humble opinion, Coach Nate. Ilia takes the risk, gambling for the sake of money and legacy. That's why he is the Chad, and we love him, true. That is true. That is true. Ilia's plan is to get as much legacy matchups as possible and retire undefeated at 30 as a megastar. I doubt this will work with how good Islam and Arman are. I doubt this will work too, but I'm loving what he is doing. By the way, do you have Prates beating Gary like a Chad, then dropping in on Layla? If you do, then we don't have a bet. I do have Prates beating Gary and then dunking it into Layla. I do, Giuliano. I do, dude. Well, dude, it'll happen naturally, brother. It'll happen naturally. Who do you have between Bilal and JDM? Obviously, I am going JDM. I have to. So we probably have a little bit of, back and forth there, Giuliano. In a way, all bonds and insurance policies are a form of escrow. There is a 0% chance the secretary would allow an escrow to be stolen. It's not the bonding principle I'm taking onto it. It's the law. Firm sneaky application of once they get people's signatures. It's bulk bonding. All people part to get the speeding ticket, exit securities and trading. Stop moving, chat. Sorry. I'm just trying to make sure I read, because Tim writes in paragraphs. Dougie is right, guys. There is a 0% chance an escrow would, 1, allow an escrow account not to be insured, and 2, it cannot be prepared or transferred to anyone but the Sarah's beneficiaries it's entitled to. That's what I was looking for. The rest of Timmy's. Yeah, I know. I understand that they're poking holes in it, but it's not a problem. It's just not a problem. It's not a problem. I call BS on people saying Ilia was forced to vacate the belt. I think he legit wanted to leave and cut the weight. So if Islam is champ and moves to welterweight, they should let him keep the belt. No, he's given it up now. That's done now, I think. I think he's given up the belt. It's done. He is now a lightweight. He's going to fight for the lightweight title, or he is going to fight for the number 1 title shot. Bilal beats Jack Della Maddalena, sadly. This is where I knew we would have some clash, Giuliano. Thank you for the $2, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is where I knew we would have some natural clash. Jack Della Maddalena pieces up Bilal in the pocket, destroys him to the body, big overhand over the top, fucking sleeps him around the 4th or 5th round. JDM sleeps Bilal Muhammad, brother. That's what I'm going with. I have to. What do you want me to say? Bilal beats JDM. I can't say that. I have to say this. I have to. JDM's gonna sleep him, mate. Thank you for the $2, brother. I appreciate it. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's chats. RIP spelling. Yeah, I can't spell. Yep. When Kenny went to Pakistan, When Kenny went to Pakistan, he experienced sex with a goat. He is definitely the goat if he sleeps Islam. So it is coming in at 67% top 10. Not the goat. Dougie was right with the funds. I convert all my money into 10-cent coins. Everyone on the earth should be getting financial advice from me. Based, TY, based. The compound is investing in Emu Lager for the apocalypse. That's an actual beer, if you guys don't know. Emu is an actual beer. We can drink beer, Chan and Singer while we wait for the prophesized apocalypse. Yeah, once the apocalypse happens, then at least we'll have Emu beer. But until then, we're on Singer. GSP's best wins decision, Bisping losing to Hendricks, Volk's decision to Holloway, and a close decision versus Islam. Islam's resume is tragic. It is, dude. It is. Now you are getting into the nitty-gritty of the top 10 GOAT discussion. These are great points. I just don't think it's enough. I just don't think it's enough to get him to the top. Hey, Doug, I've got a huge plastering job for you. After you finish it, I'll put the money into an escrow account for 3 years, then you can get paid. I get what you're trying to say, dude. What sort of person would agree to this kind of pay structure? I completely understand what you're saying. There's a big difference here, right? Big difference here in the market forces. The UFC is the biggest name in town if you want to be a UFC fighter, if you want to be the UFC, if you want to be part of that, this is what they are offering. This is how it works for this particular job and this particular pay structure. Different jobs have different pay structures, right? Now, some plasterers want to get paid at the end of their job, like I do. It makes total sense. And I do a quote how much I think the job is worth. But there are other plasterers out there that do meterage rates. The amount of plaster they hang is the amount of basing in they do and stopping up they do is the amount that they get paid. Who the fuck in an office gets paid for how many spreadsheets they submit? Who actually gets paid that way? No one, but some people do. Different jobs have different pay structures. That's the way it works across the entire world. So while this pay structure that I'm talking about doesn't apply to me, guess fucking what, Nacho? I'm not a professional fighter. So if you want to be in the UFC, if you want to work for Dougie Dana White as he now helms the UFC, this is the pay structure that I'll be offering. And if it doesn't work out, well, then I fucked up. But this is what I would go with to incentivize activity. And again, you are being looked after. It's not like you're not getting paid anything where, hey, I've got a huge plastering job for you. I'll put the money in an escrow account and you'll get paid afterwards. It's not like you're not getting paid anything while you work for the UFC under my pay structure. You're getting paid a very good livable wage on top of all of your training being subsidized by the PI, all of your food being subsidized by the PI, all of your medical bills being subsidized by the PI, everything you could possibly need being there at the PI for free. And if you don't want to live there, that's fine. But if you get paid a lot of money to go and work in Sydney, you're probably going to pack up your bags and go and work over in Sydney. People do that all the time. They get up and they go to a different city for a better job all the fucking time. Why do you think all the immigrants are moving to the West? Because they want to have a better life for themselves. So if you want to stay out in buttfuck nowhere and spend your own money training at your own fucking training camp, you're more than welcome to go and do that. But if you actually want to keep your money and save your money, come over to where all the PIs are and you get paid for absolutely everything. And if you want a massive payout to be a fucking superstar, we will pay you that out at the end of your career. That's the end of that rant. This is Ilia doing the Dark Knight Rises moment of taking the rope up. This is Ilia doing the Dark Knight Rises of taking the... Yeah! This is Ilia just putting it fucking all out there and climbing to the top. JDM will win. That's the way, Paradox. How does Islam beat Ilia? Who is better on the feet, obviously, and who has the better BJJ? I think Islam beats Ilia in the clinch, Coach Nate. I think Islam is bigger, broader, taller, and Ilia has to use short-range boxing to get up on the inside. Yeah, so to do that, to get up on the inside, that's where Islam Makhachev is going to use this clinch that he used against Dustin Poirier, where he was kneeing the fuck out of Dustin Poirier. I think he does that to to Ilia Topuria. I think Islam Makhachev does that to Ilia Topuria. Who's got the better BJJ? On paper, you could say Ilia Topuria does. What have we seen? Islam Makhachev submitting Charles Oliveira. No, I get the Volk fight was a great fight. That's a great argument for why Ilia Topuria could beat Islam Makhachev. But even Alexander Volkanovski, even Islam Makhachev, when he was dehydrated, had a horrible weight cut and was in there against Volk on his prime. Even Islam Makhachev beat Alexander Volkanovski 4-1, even on that fight, when Volk was at his best and Islam might have been at his worst. He had a horrible weight cut. But Nacho, Dougie plasters regularly would be different if it was a Sparky. It would be different if it was a Sparky. Name a better 3-fight KO streak than Islam, Max, and Volk in UFC history. That is true. That is. Volk wasn't committed to 155. True. Volk wasn't committed to 155. True. Name a better 3-fight win streak. I honestly can't. Can someone name a better 3-fight win streak than Islam, Max, Volk in UFC history? That is an amazing win streak. Gilly is right. I hope JDM flukes it. I know Gilly is right, but I also hope JDM flukes it. I have to back JDM. I just have to. I have to back JDM. Where am I? I don't want to miss anyone's chats. Sorry. Gilly is right. I hope JDM flukes it. Yeah, it's not a problem at all. Fucking law and finance in the chat. So much for an escape from that. I know, dude. I know. Sorry, Tim. Sorry. But yeah, it's not a problem. Emus is a scourge of the Australian army. That's why we dedicated a beer to them, mate. Because we couldn't defeat them, so we immortalized them in a beer. I'd like JDM to win, but it's not happening, my friend. Paradox is on drugs. Don't listen to him. I promise he disclosed his intoxication to me only a few minutes ago. Sober take is Bilal. I have to believe that JD, I'm like a liberal in 2020 wearing the fucking masks and social distancing. I know that it's wrong, but I have to believe that JDM will crush Bilal. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have to believe that JDM will do it. Saying Ilia is better on the feet than Islam Makhachev is massively oversimplifying things, and saying Ilia has better BJJ is delusional as Topuria. That's the thing with Ilia's BJJ. We only know about it on paper. You know what I mean? We only know about it on paper. Islam has one win against a top 5 lightweight opponent in his prime, literally. I know. Islam's resume is destroying how good his career could actually be. Bisping and Chael defending Dougie's new payment structure. You know what, buddy? This idea of not paying the fighters anything for years is actually a great idea. I'll bring you this because it's a very real pay structure. Because this way it actually incentivizes activity. And these fighters like Islam Makhachev that only fight every twice per year, this fixes that completely. It's a very real thing. Islam cheated in every single way. Volk in one clearly and got outstruck by Volk, DDP, and Moink. Most skilled, not the GOAT. Lol. Islam cheated in every single way. He lost in the first Volk fight. I don't think he did. I think Volk lost that. I think Islam won 4-1, Tim. Sorry. No GOAT has a better resume. Ilia is the untarnished, unlike Meldonium Mucket. That is another good point for the people who don't think Ilia Topuria can't be the GOAT. Ilia Topuria has never had a drug offense so far. That is a great point. Ilia might drop Islam like Adriano Martinez. He might, Johnny. He might. His whole reign is featherweights and old men outside of the Oliveira fight. I know, and it sucks. I hate it. I wish that they would do Islam Makhachev's career properly and have him fight Armin Sarukian now. Sounds like government pay. W? Yeah, a little bit. Tim, your Islam cope is as bad as Dougie's escrow idea. It's a great idea. Volk was not committed to 155. Volk won because I said so. Dougie's face plastering services. What's up, Moody Wizard? Good to see you, man. Volk win because he gained aura. In a way. Giuliano says, I agree with your pay structure argument. As long as performance bonuses continue and are issued slightly more generously, I would also de-incentivize points fighting, holding against the cage, etc. Yep. True. We all seem to agree on the pay structure idea. JDM will fucking win. Yes. Emu Bitter, the Western Aussie VB. Yes. Thoughts on the legendary Henry. I'm starting to lose my voice. How long have we been live for? 2 hours. Still holding 20 strong. Press on, Dougie. Keep streaming. Keep going, Dougie. This is so much easier than plastering. JDM is going to be punch pow. JDM is going to go punch pow kabang, dickhead. That's how he's going to win. He's going to go fucking punchy punch. I like Paradox as well. You guys are all overthinking things, alright? Paradox is getting fucking pinned, okay? This is how JDM is gonna win. He's gonna go fucking... Just punchity punch. Done. Winning. Yes, Paradox. Thoughts on the legendary Henry Grab and his 261-18 record, while we got soy boys like Weidman with 15 pro fights saying it's too much. We are soft these days. I agree, dude. Again, someone asked me why aren't American fighters being as successful as Eastern fighters, and I said essentially because American fighters have it too fucking good. They grow up in silk sheets. Rod Tang, 500 fights. Muay Thai fighters, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fights. It's fighting. No one wants to fight. You need to be poor. I wasn't going to weigh in on the pay idea, but now that I see that annoys Tim, I will. Good idea regardless of the cash outflow for the UFC, as well of the fighters. +1 for Giuliano for increasing the win bonuses. Yes, true. Thank you, Mean Mr. Bean. Islam is overrated. Islam could be the greatest fighter of all time, Coach Nate, but his resume is fucking it up. Ilia is better than Islam on the feet. Islam's resume is fake, like we all know he's on drug, ice bucket, IV, he's a midget, and he's a cheater. Thank you, Tim. Islam did great on the feet against Volk and Poirier until he got tired, but Ilia won't bring the same pace. Yeah, Ilia doesn't fight as fast, but he fights very methodically. Very, very methodically. Very methodically. Yeah. Where am I up to? That's because Ilya's rich parents get him on the good stuff that don't get caught in drug tests. You mean Armin Boob, or do you mean Ilia Boob? Stipe went Wadoom, KO, Overeem, KO, J... Alright, here we go, from Daniel. Stipe went Wadoom, Overeem, JDS, and fucked Francis by mauling him up. That is a great 3-fight win streak. Wadoom, Overeem, JDS, yeah. And then Francis Ngannou. Especially, people forget, man. Francis, on his first run, when Francis first fought for the title, who remembers the glaze? Francis Ngannou, he hits as hard as a Toyota Prius. The glaze on Francis, before the UFC hated him, they were forward escort. Yeah, dude, if you weren't around when Francis was on his come up, he was like this fucking predator in the shadows of the UFC, just knocking everybody out. The hype around Francis, and then Stipe just smushed him. Just fucking smushed him. Thanks, Coach Nate. Facts to Coach Nate. You're welcome, Coach Nate. A lot of people are supporting you, Coach Nate. A lot of people like your arguments, brother. Jones beating Shogun Rua, Jackson and Lyoto Machida. Great 3-fight win streak. Great 3-fight. People forget. They said, wow, what a win streak. Never see anything like this again. Volk really outstruck Islam in the second fight. The way he headbutted his shin was savage. Oh, don't. No, don't. Who he fought and how he fights went show he's just not a great... Who he has fought and how he fights them show he is just not a great generational talent. Oh, God. I just wish that we could see Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. That will change things so much. I mean, he fought Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is one of the greatest lightweights of all time. Islam Makhachev fought one of the greatest featherweights of all time, Alexander Volkanovski, and beat him in... How long have they fought for? 6 rounds? 7 rounds? Beat him in 80% of the rounds. Very impressive. Dustin Poirier is one of the greatest lightweights to ever not touch a belt. Beat Dustin Poirier. Yeah. But then you could say that everything that you've said, he's only fought featherweights and retired old men on the decline. You know, we need the Arman fight so fucking badly. We need the Arman fight. We need it. I wouldn't mind it so much, but Islam is complaining about people not giving him credit. Well, the credit is right there, for fuck's sake. Just demand Dana rebook the Arman. Exactly, Shotgun. We need the Arman fight. 22 more hours, boys. 22 more hours. Thank you for streaming. Thank you guys for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Can we get some likes in the stream? Can you guys like this? It's destroying my throat. There's definitely adrenochrome in the water jug. There needs to be at the pace I'm going at. 2 smelly fingers. Ilya is even more overrated. People let the hype from the finishes cloud their judgment and forget about all the holes in his one-dimensional style. That's a bit far, Toad. I wouldn't say that he has massive holes in his game. He's got great wrestling and great jiu-jitsu. Islam is fake. Fight someone your own size, you twisted midget cousin fucker. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Paradox is a pinned comment whore. Yeah, but it's a good one, Giuliano. Come on, mate. Teddy Atlas needs to replace Dana. We are the fire. Based Paradox. Rod Tank, 320 pro fights at the age of 24. Be poor, fight often. I'll be the biggest CEO, Dougie Shill. I'll shill out as a company man. That's the way, TY. That's the way. They fight instead of hard sparring. The Muay Thai guys, yeah, they actually fucking go for it. JDM winning makes the division interesting. Imagine JDM versus Islam, and then matchups like Shavkat versus Islam. Yeah, we the culture need JDM to win. We need JDM to win. Have fun kicking against Ilia. Islam, you're talking Islam, kicking Ilia. Why would that be a problem? Why would kicking Ilia be a problem, Coach Nate? How the fuck is the fetish Daggy have with that evil midget allowed in MMA? Boo the Daggies, I believe you're talking about. Drink loud. What's up, Chiwewe? How are you, dude? You're talking about the little one? Hasbulla? Yeah, it is weird. Heavyweight is so fucking bad, it's shallow as fuck. It is now, but when Stipe was on his run, it wasn't that shallow. It was quite deep, actually. Francis hit Stipe clean in that fight as well. Dude ate it and proceeded to whoop his up. Yeah, dude, people really do forget, man. Francis, the hype for Francis in the build-up to Stipe. Oof. What's up, Simply Kudos? Good to see you, man. Wasn't even that big in the UFC back then, and I heard all the glaze. Yeah, the glaze for Francis was insane, man. I remember Francis had an unreal aura in 2020 more than Hamza. Yeah, Francis's aura, I'm telling you, before he first fought Stipe. Mean Mr. Bean doesn't annoy me. What Lois do with hedge funds does. True. Charles is always washed and he has been for years. Not true. Back-to-back statements, Tim. Well done. Los Machanos MV Gabby music? What do you mean, Miguel? This is our chill music that we chill to on the stream. Charles isn't an all-time great. He would have been if he had beaten Armin and regained the belt. Charles has got, I think, either the most wins or the second most wins in UFC history. Charles went on this is all just from memory, 12 or 10 fight unbeaten streak at lightweight, when you could say lightweight was at its best ever era. Charles Oliveira has got the most submissions in UFC history. Charles Oliveira is a all-time great of the sport. No fucking questions asked. No fucking argument. Islam beat Charles so easily, and people forget, man, and I don't know why this is just a massive hole. Like, Islam beating Charles easily is massive. Massive. Amanda dating Misha, run it. No one cares about that, Johnny. We're talking about MMA. He played with his food. He did. Islam beat Armin in the past, but I agree the UFC can't punish Armin forever. It needs to happen for Islam's legacy. Yeah, he beat him in the past, but Armin Sarukian came in on short notice. Islam's legacy is fucking ruined because of all of the conversations that we've been having for the last half an hour about how Islam's resume isn't good enough. You fix all of that overnight by having him fight Armin Sarukian. And if Islam beats Armin Sarukian, done. Fuck, it's hot in Florida too, mate. It's hot in Melbourne, mate. I might go for a swim after this. Armin would kick the shit out of Ilia, which is why he is ducking that fight. I don't know if he would. That would be a competitive fight, I think, Toad. Drink louder, type louder, Chiwewe. Jai Herbert kicked Ilia's head off. He did, and Ilia bounced back up, mate. Bruh. People be hating on Islam for no reason. Dude is active and still move up. You got a deep voice like this, Secret Talks? You type like you got a voice like this. Bruh. People be hating on Islam, dude, for no reason. Dude is active, move up. He is everyone they want a Khabib to be. People let racism cloud their judgment, bruh. I agree, dude. That's all it is, man. Like, Islam is what... You're exactly right, brother. Islam is exactly what we were all bitching about Khabib. And now we have him, and it's not fucking good enough. It's not fucking good enough. He's got a loss. He fights 2 to 3 times a year. He fights about twice a year. He strikes, sick Muay Thai striking. He stood with Dustin Poirier and struck with him. And people are still like, fuck Islam Makhachev. It's not fair, man. People forget, man. Francis said himself that he had PTSD from the Stipe fight. It wasn't just the smush. There was some brutal ground and pound in there. It was worse than a knockout. Francis looked like Leon between the rounds. Dude, he came back and was scared to engage with a broken back Derek Lewis. Scared to engage. That's how deep Stipe got into his fucking head, mate. Stipe was deep in his brains, bro. Deep in his guts. Hezbollah knocks Tim out under 3 rounds. Oh, now you are trying to hurt him. Chewies! Okay, people, watch JDM at mid-range and in the pocket and watch Bilal before you comment on this fight, please. Thank you, Tim. We need some JDM riders. How tough is Topuria? Ate the head kick and KO'd him in fucking vicious fashion. He's very tough, dude. That head kick would have ended a lot of fighters. Can you do a poll on if chat has ever jacked off to Alexa Grasso's feet? Why are you not typing? Get rid of that. Unpin that message. Where am I at? Where's unpin message? There it is. Alright, get out of the fucking way. Get out of the way, poll. Get out of the way. No one cares. I gotta read the rest of chat. Where is Yog? Jack is gonna kill Bilal. He has much more of a threat. Yes, Miguel. Yes. Big gifted athletes can go into pro sports, but not the CTE pyramid schemes. Exactly, Coach Nate. Big gifted athletes go into proper sports. Brokies go into CTE pyramid schemes. Exactly right, mate. That's the way it should be. It's cage fighting. Let's start an MMA podcast called Los Mexicanos, aka The Aliens. What would that have to do with MMA, Miguel? Would it be a Sean Woodson-based podcast? The podcast where we follow Sean Woodson's epic career? Miguel knows what's what. Miguel knows what's up. Charles has how many losses? Wild striking shit wrestling. I thought this was MMA, Coach Nate. I thought we were allowed to have some losses. You're not going to have the most wins in MMA history without having some losses. Wild striking. He has wild striking because he knows he can win off his back because he has the most subs in UFC history. Whoa, Coach Nate. I thought we were allowed to lose a couple of fights, bruh. It sucks that Ian Gary is just going to wrestle Carlos. Doesn't matter. Carlos Prates is going to smoke him and his wife. Why are you acting like Armin didn't pull out of the Islam fight in just under 24 hours notice? I know, and I agree. I know, Nacho, you are right, and he deserves some punishment for that. But I also, again, and Nacho, you know this because I've said it multiple times, and I know you've heard me say it multiple times. I think with Islam Makhachev, we are dealing with potentially the greatest fighter of all time. And I would rather see the greatest fighter of all time be solidified in history rather than punish Armin Sarukian. What would you rather more, Nacho? Confirm that we are seeing one of the greatest fighters of all time ever, or punish Armin Sarukian? What would you rather see, brother? To me, I would rather see... did you watch the video of Chael talking about size? I did. I agree with him. I disagree with him. Why do we have weight classes at all? Just fucking get rid of the weight classes. From 125, from 135 to 145 to 155, there just shouldn't be any weight class. There should all just be one fucking weight class. There should just be one fucking... Why do we have weight classes? And this is coming from Chael, the fucking wrestler, who spent his entire career cutting weight. Chael is just waffling to waffle. Why don't they bring back the dwarf midget toss? I don't know, Tim. Why don't they? Charles's best win is Dustin Poirier. Is it? Maybe. Cage fighting. Someone say racism. Correct. Secret talks. It sickens me. Islam is white. How are people letting racism cloud their judgment? Well, he's not our kind of white. He's the Muslim white. You know what I mean. You know what they're saying, Joe Hogan. I know a guy that can smash Islam. Who's that, Drew? I love you too, Kenny. I like Islam way more, but Khabib is better. I like watching Islam. Khabib put me to sleep. I like Islam way more, but Khabib was better. Khabib was like the better cage fighter. Like if Khabib and Islam fought each other, who would win? Probably Khabib. I get that. But watching Islam is far more entertaining. I agree with you on that one, Coach Nate. The Ilia Glazers might be proven right when they say his grappling is better than his striking. When the Islam fight happens and Ilia starts panic shooting. Oh, Toad, here we go. Manel Torres will smash Islam? No. This poll is going to be all lies one way or another? Absolutely. Looks like we're about 50-50. There you go, Yog. It's been done. Man, the foot freaks are wilding over here, aren't they, guys Ninja? But that was a moment in history. Yog has been asking for that poll for, what do we reckon, chat? A year and 6 months? Maybe a year and a half? Yog's been asking for that. It's a historic poll, Gaz Ninja. To celebrate Easter, Christ has risen so that Yog can jack it to feet. Oliveira's legit win. Volk featherweight. Volk 2. Oliveira equals legit win. Volk at featherweight. Volk 2 featherweight. Short notice. Poirier 36 years old. Past his prime. 1 streak. Well, current ranked for. Yep. Yeah. No, he's win streaks. Islam Makhachev's career is in fucking shambles. It's in fucking shambles. When you look at it, when you look back at it, his resume is in shambles. We need the Arman Sarukian fight. We need it. Dominic Cruz meeting a genie that popped out of a bottle. This is why you were cursed with being a genie, man. Because your dad was never proud of you. So you went on for 1,000 years to try and prove him that you would make something of yourself by granting people wishes. Well, it's not going to happen. Now here you are, stuck here with me, and I'm not going to make any wishes because I work for what I want. I stand up and I get to work. And it doesn't matter how injured I am. I'm not just going to wish to become better. I'm going to put in the work. So you're fucked now, aren't you? You're stuck here with me thinking about your dad for eternity and how he let you down, how you let him down. Some idiot that glazed Volk and Whittaker, even though they're almost half their fights before... Some idiots that glazed Volk and Whittaker, even though they almost lost half their fights before rallying, trash Ilia up a weight class who ate a perfect head kick round and bounced back. Okay, I don't know who they are. By some idiots, do you mean me? But no, I don't trash Ilia for... eating a head kick and bouncing back. I don't trash him for that. I think that was fucking amazing. Yeah, Sean Woodson. Yeah, Sean Woodson. Yeah, the alien Sean Woodson. Bro, when you break Islam's reign down, it's just mid with a ton of asterisks. I know, dude, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it, dude. All I have to say is the foot stuff is, oh, brother. Ew, what's that, brother? I agree, dude. I'm not a fan of it. But Yog... It's the holidays. Let's celebrate for Yog. You know what I mean? Grasso's feet just represents chat's want of all degeneracy in general. Yeah, it is, mate. Islam has 1 loss. Not me, Eric, with another perfect record. Did you watch Taylor's video? We did that one. Have you had a freak back tweak? It's brutal and can happen doing nothing, especially dehydrated. No, never. Although, Coach Nate, what do you think about this? Do you think that it was the kind of freak back tweak that could have been fixed with a cortisol injection and just get back in there? Because that seems to be what the UFC is hinting to, dude. Oliveira has the most finishes overall, not just subs. He is the larger and stronger than Ilia with superior grappling. Thank you, Giuliano Argente. I knew Oliveira's run was fucking insane. I just didn't have the facts right at the top of my mind. But yeah, Oliveira is an insane fighter. And to call Oliveira not one of the greatest fighters of all time is insane. He's basically fighting Khabib's leftovers when they're old plus a couple of featherweights. I know, it sucks. We need the Arman Sarukian fight. And Nacho, I don't know if it's in the chat somewhere if you haven't answered me. But again, what would you rather see? Islam Makhachev be properly tested to see if he is what he says he is? Fighting a fucking 29-year-old, 30-year-old Arman Sarukian? Or punish Arman Sarukian for pulling out? Which one would you rather, man? Just grab some lube, my hot cracker buttfucker 3000, and pulling up some images of Grasso's feet. Disgusting. Islam gives better head than Khabib? Ask the GOAT. Giuliano at the championship level, it's not about losing first. Oliveira is awesome, but he is very beatable. No weight class is fire. I've been wanting a Kai Kara-France versus Derek Lewis my entire life. So Giuliano Ahente wants to kill Kai Kara-France. And thank you for the $2, Giuliano. Crisp Cruz impression. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, dude. Oh, God. And have you ever cranked it to Grasso's toes? 59% says, yeah, who hasn't? That is disgusting. That is disgusting. To be honest, I think Islam reverses Khabib, gets up and schools him on the feet. I don't think... What's up, Skynet? How are you, dude? You just woke up. Yeah, I've been going for a hot minute, mate. Been a good stream today, boys. I don't think he does get back up. I think Khabib holds him down and ground and pounds him. I know MMA fans come up with bullshit narratives, with whatever bullshit narratives they want when they're angry. But what happened was Arman got injured, and I don't think he should be punished. He should be punished harshly for something that he can't control. I think he got injured, Toad, but I think from what it seems like and what I've seen in the UFC, what I have seen is when a fighter seriously gets injured, they will work to change something with the fight. They will accommodate somehow and allow and work for something to go on. I don't know if Arman Sarukian was so injured that he couldn't fight with massage and a cortisol injection and a hot sauna. I think there is a level of injury. There's a spectrum of injury. And what Arman Sarukian was going through was something where he could have still fought on the day. But Arman wanted everything to be absolutely perfect. And that is a choice that Arman made. And in fighting, it's very rare for a fighter to go into the cage and fight when his body is 100% perfect, not carrying any injuries. Yeah, there's a level of conversation that can be had there. Why do you think people try and constantly discredit Dustin Poirier? A great fighter, a former champion, people try to act like he is a journeyman or something. I don't know. I don't know why. Why do you... I don't know. I mean, Dustin Poirier has been one of the most exciting fighters for the best part of a decade. He's great off his back. His only problem is standing back up. That's his one problem where he gives up his neck. But he's great off his back. He tries to get back up. He is always in slogs. He's always in an exciting fight. He's got one of the best resumes of all time. He's an interim champion. He's funny on the microphone because he's so fucking salty all the time. All the time. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just they find him irking. Maybe they just are irked by him. Yog conceived it, believed it, and then achieved it. I don't even think Yog hung around to see that we actually did the poll. I think Yog typed in his little message and then bounced. No, you're fucked. It's paralyzed. Okay, fair enough. So you don't think it was... So just to catch everyone up here, I asked Coach Nate, do you think it was something that he could have fought through with a cortisol injection and massage? And Coach Nate goes, nah, it was probably paralyzing. Probably couldn't move at all. Okay, fair enough, dude. It's also possible he couldn't make the weight. He was shredded and still 161 pounds. That is also possible. And if he couldn't make the weight, rather than it be actually an injury, he should be punished for that. Good to see you, Skynet. I replied saying Arman punished, but YouTube censored it anyway. Oh, of course. Sorry, Nacho. Right. So you would rather see Arman get punished. Okay, fair enough. I disagree with you. I would rather see the greatest fighter, but I get it. You would rather see Arman punished. Fair enough. I walked with a torn ACL immediately after. Backs are a little bit different. Okay, fair enough. Poirier is top 10 fighters, never to be undisputed. Yeah, he is. Poirier is one of the greatest fighters never to touch a belt. And I don't understand how people don't like him. He is always in sick fights. Always. Tom Aspinall, Conor McGregor. Okay, Eric, thank you. Top Aspinall, Conor McGregor. Don't know why you're saying that. And Christian Grey is saying, Douglas! What's up, Chris? How are you, man? I love the Diamond. Better resume than some champions and some of the sickest wars in the history of the sport. I don't know how you can be a fan of MMA and the UFC and not be a fan of Dustin Poirier. I just don't get it. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't respect the dude. This is my house. I built this house. This octagon is my octagon. I don't like the dude. It is what it is. I don't like the dude. It irks me the wrong way. I love Dustin Poirier. I love him. Skynet, you missed the stream of intellect and culture. We've transcended into a higher level of humanity. And finally, we did the do you jerk off to Alexa Grasso's feet poll. It has been a monumental stream, boys. A monumental stream. We even had a visit from the Guru. The Guru descended from the heavens, dropped in 10 memberships, said what up. It has been a wonderful stream, boys. A wonderful stream. Just a wonderful stream. Demetrius Johnson, why is Eric just saying names? I don't understand what is going on. Tom Aspinall, Conor McGregor, Demetrius Johnson. Eric is just saying names. You should just let the degenerates take over, Dougie. Never, mate. Not on Christ's birthday, second birthday, rebirth day. Not on Christ's second newest birthday. WrestleMania is live. I don't care. I have a penis. Nacho, I think censorship is due to the Illuminati finding about our plans for the compound. Probably. They don't want the compound to happen. True, I broke a chick's back last weekend and she couldn't walk for 2 days. Well, hopefully you still kicked her out, mate. Knee injuries are a different level. That is true. True. Damn it, Paul, we need to start digging tunnels so we can conduct our business in secret, much like a synagogue in New York City. Huge Kid Yamamoto fan here. R.I.P. My man is a true Japanese legend. R.I.P. to Yamamoto. Never touch a belt. The only difference between an undisputed and interim is the champion is a Chad like Yuri who chose to vacate to let the division move on. They are Blue Jays, just like Khabib. All right, Eric. Arman shouldn't be punished. Next lightweight championship fight should obviously be Islam versus Arman. There is no argument against it that makes any sense and isn't emotion-based. I agree with you, Giuliano. I agree with you. I've got no, like, I can understand why some fans want to see Armin punished for the good of the company, but that is emotion based. I want to see the best fighter in the world try and prove himself in this case. I understand that the UFC is like a nice stew and a soup. There's a little bit of entertainment. There's a little bit of meritocracy. You know, I get it. You can't fuck with the recipe that is the UFC. But I think right now, where we are with the lightweight division, I want to see the best fighter in the world fight. How long ago did the Guru drop in? Early in the stream. I want to see how blushy you got to get early in the stream. Maybe in the first half an hour. If you go back to the very start of the stream and then listen to it at 2 times speed, you'll see the Guru drop in. Dougie is probably the best at digging the tunnels due to his great business ideas. My family is Russian Orthodox, mate. Fighters often fight with torn up knees and fight through them and fight. They do. W reference to the Christ killers in the New York City tunnels. You know what's up. Dougie has no idea who Kid Yamamoto. I have a general idea. Let me put a name to the face. I have a general idea. Is that the guy that got paralyzed? Oh, it's not the guy that got paralyzed. Kimi Anino was Japanese mission paralyzed to come out. I got confused. No, you're absolutely right. He defended the USA Vision. Got very gained popularity. Okay. No, I got completely confused between that and a Pride fighter. There you go, shotgun. Dougie was kicking his feet, giggling and blushing when the Guru dropped in. I was not blushing when the Guru dropped in, dickheads. I'll be walking up hills backwards now after all my injuries from the years of the sports. About to retire, but had to say sup to my favourite Aussie dingbat. Good to see you, Chris. I hope you're enjoying your holiday, mate. Damage is emotional, especially with John Jones. True. Was in the first 10 minutes. Waiting to see Armin punished. Waiting to see Armin punished instead of by far the best fight for the number one fighter in the sport is fucking bizarre to me. Me too, but some fans think this way, Nacho being one of them. Especially when it seems like Islam is implying he only has one fight left at lightweight. I agree. Let me put a name to the face. It's just how my brain works, dude. It's just how my brain works. Let me put a name to the face. Let me put a face to the name. Let me put a face to the name. Yeah, let me put a name to the face. Yeah. No, you were blushing, brother. I was not blushing, dickhead. Howdy, y'all. How are you, dude? Good to see you, Larry. You were blushing. I was not blushing, dickhead. All right. Oh, you fucking caught up with it all. Do I keep going for a little bit? Should I stay live for a little bit? It's been fucking 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's been a good stream. Do we stay live? Talked about a lot of shit. We've covered a lot of stuff. Let's check MMA Twitter. Let's see what's going on over at MMA Twitter. Sean O'Malley's coach, Tim Welch, says Israel Adesanya wants to fight Sean Strickland next. I get it. I think Izzy should fight Sean Strickland rather than Delidze. I get it. Say the word. I'm not going to say the word. Islam Ilia, if he's only fighting once more, Armin did mess to... Yeah, okay, so if Islam Makhachev is only going to fight once more... I would still rather it be against Armin Tsarukyan. If he is going to fight at lightweight once more... You want to fight the Guru? Why do you want to fight the Guru? Guru's chill, bro. If Islam Makhachev is only going to fight at lightweight one more time... I would rather him fight Armin Tsarukyan. Because if he fights Ilia Topuria, people are still going to say that he was only fighting all featherweights. That doesn't fix the problem that we have with Islam Makhachev right now. Islam Makhachev, fight Armin Tsarukyan, and then move up to fight Bilal. They fought before. It's like, I know, but it was on short notice. This is why there's going to be no asterisks next to it. No short notice. 30-year-old, 29-year-old Armin Tsarukyan, ready to fight a proper lightweight in his prime, beat him. You are the lightweight GOAT. There are no more asterisks next to your name. Ilia Topuria, fight Charles Oliveira for the number one contender spot. Or for the number one contender spot, vacant belt, whatever. Fight Charles Oliveira next, get one win at lightweight, and then fight somebody else for the vacant belt. That's what I think. That's what I would do with it. How's your Easter been so far? It's been pretty alright. I've been resting. I haven't been able to go out and walk around because I've been resting my ankle. Islam has 1 or 2 fights left at lightweight. Some would rather punish Arman and have an old-ass 38-year-old... It should not be Gaethje. Under no circumstances should Justin Gaethje fight for the title. Under no circumstances should it be Gaethje. Or a 37-year-old Oliveira. What a joke. That is a joke. No, it should not be Gaethje or Oliveira. They fought before. It's similar. I want to see him peak. If Dougie was an MMA fighter, he'd be a pride fighter. Get it? Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that, mate. He's a lightweight now, and he killed Volkanovski. He is not a lightweight yet. He is a lightweight in the fact that he is not in the featherweight division. That is true. He is a lightweight in the fact that he's not in the featherweight division. But people are still going to say he fought only lightweights because we haven't seen him tested at lightweight, Coach Nate. You know what I'm saying? We need to see him tested at lightweight. They fought 7 years ago, for fuck's sake, when Arman was a baby making his debut on 2 weeks. Now, I know it's not the same kind of fight. You should definitely stay live a little while. I'll stay live a bit longer. We'll go live. We'll continue on. Guru is Dougie's man crush. No. If I had a man crush, it would probably be Tom Hardy. I'd much rather see Ilia versus Islam than Arman versus Islam. I would much rather see Ilia versus Islam than Arman versus Islam. He's already beat Arman. Ilia is way better for the resume. I think he'll still get shit if he fights Islam. If he fights Arman. I think Islam Makhachev will still get critics if he fights Ilia Topuria, because Ilia Topuria hasn't proven himself at lightweight yet. I think he should fight Arman Tsarukyan first. I think Islam should bully Ilia back to featherweight. Move up, allowing for Arman versus Paddy for the vacant belt. That would be sick. Arman versus Paddy for the vacant belt would be fucking sick. Arman destroys Paddy Pimblett. If Islam beats Arman Tsarukyan, only some hardcores will care. Well, I think the hardcores should get a fight. I think the hardcores should get a good fight. And what if Arman pulls out of the fight again and Islam is forced to fight down the rankings on short notice? Then I guess you just say that fight's never going to happen and fuck Arman Tsarukyan. If Arman Tsarukyan doesn't take the fight a third time, fuck him. Then fuck him. Yeah. But here's what you do, Nacho. You book Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan on the fight card, and then in the co-main event, you book Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria, and you let Ilia Topuria know that if Arman pulls out, he'll be fighting Islam Makhachev. That's what you do. And then as a feature fight, you have another sick fight to fill in. Probably a Usman Buckley or a fight like that. So you stack the pay-per-view so that when we lose one of the fights on the pay-per-view, it doesn't fucking matter. So all you do is plan accordingly. Again, Nacho, these problems that you bring up, if we were in a boardroom, if we were on Craster's compound, Nacho, and we were in the boardroom, you'd bring this problem up, and I would go, that is a great point. I'm happy someone at the company asked that question. They're the kind of questions in a business that need to get asked so that we can plan and prepare for them. And that's what you do. You put in a plan for if the worst should happen. It is a fair enough question, but a question that has an answer. And I'm happy that the question got asked. What happened to your ankle? I fell down a flight of stairs carrying a toolbox. Landed on the street. Very embarrassing. Imagine if people said there is no point in Stipe versus Francis 2 because Stipe already beat him before. That's kind of where we're at now, isn't it? The MMA GOAT, CM Punk, is fighting in WrestleMania right now. He will never live that down, will he? Arman's only pulled out once. Should have a backup fighter. The chances are it'll be fine. Yeah. And we have the perfect backup fighter. We have Ilia Topuria, who needs to prove himself. If Islam is only ever going to fight one more guy at any weight, who would you want it to be, and why would it be JLP, son? Biggest arms in Wesleyan, Oregon. Islam is in a scared, weak legacy preservation mode. Ilia is actually wanting to test himself versus the best. I don't think it's Islam that is saying he doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. I think it's Dana White saying that we want to punish him. Yeah, I don't think it's Islam's the one saying that, Coach Nate. Doug said Tom Hardy gets him. I didn't say that. Portuguese. That's not what I said. Paddy will wrap up Arman like an anaconda. Arman will get out of Paddy's grip. Easy work for Arman Tsarukyan. If you ignored the policies, you would put Ilia Gaethje for contender of the winner versus... If you ignored the policies, you would put Ilia versus Gaethje for contender versus the winner of Islam versus Arman? No. You'd put Ilia versus Paddy. You do Gaethje versus Poirier 3. They're 1-1, both towards the end of their career. Yeah, you do Gaethje versus Poirier 3. Then have a fucking backup. Yeah, have a backup. Yep. You book Oliveira the same night. Yep. This is an easy problem. Paddy doesn't have the aura yet or in his next fight to be any good for Islam's resume. No, Paddy's not there yet. Exactly. Stack the pay-per-view with all the top lightweights and then nobody has any excuses if Arman pulls out. Exactly. This is an easy problem. Hardcore matchups. Where are we at? Sorry, boys. Hardcore matchups can turn into star-making classics if they go well. People forget, man. They said the same thing about Oliveira versus Chandler 1. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the hardcores wanting to be satisfied every now and then. And even though they ended up winning, he did almost get KO'd. So the one time we saw him at lightweight wasn't exactly a great basis for saying it'd be a super meaningful win for Islam. Yeah, so the one time, even if he did end up winning, he did almost get KO'd. You're talking about Ilia Topuria. Yeah, it's not exactly a great basis to say, like, you nearly got knocked out against Jai Herbert. You deserve to fight Islam Makhachev. Listen, buddy. Fighters are getting paid in Dogecoin, buddy, at the end of their career, buddy. He landed on his face in the street with the tools going everywhere in his pants down. It's completely embarrassing and on brand for Dougie. Okay, it wasn't quite that embarrassing, but it was embarrassing, okay? It's my job as middle management to bring you those questions, Doug, and I bring you these questions because, no, this is, you know what? You're actually starting to prove a valuable point for middle management existing in the compound. We need these questions asked. Then holes must be poked. I like it. Holes must be... It is the way of man to poke into holes. It is the way of man, Nacho. Legacy doesn't matter. Just make Islam Ilia, and the sooner we get a lot of money, and we will get a lot of money back, boost their star power, which is the point of MMA. I think sometimes legacy does matter, especially when we get into the very rare air that we're in right now, where we are discussing the legit top 5 fighters of all time. Legacy absolutely matters. Topuria versus Islam is the only fight to make. I disagree. Arman versus Islam is the fight to make. Topuria versus Oliveira. Islam Arman isn't happening. Arman fucked himself up. He did, Miguel. He did, dude. He did. Dana wants a business, not a sport. He wants control over the champion, and it pisses me off. That is true, Coach Nate. So, Coach Nate, let me ask you this, because this is my reply to people who are hardcore. They just want it to be a sport, all meritocracy based. Do you watch the PFL? Are you a PFL fan? Because the funny thing that we have in MMA is we have people, and if you do, respect to you, brother, because we have people in MMA that bitch about it not being a meritocracy, but they don't support the PFL. The PFL is going bankrupt. It's losing viewership. Its numbers are dog shit. And I believe that if this rabid amount of MMA fans really wanted a hardcore sport that was meritocracy based, we would see the PFL be successful when it isn't. It's very similar to Hollywood, how they talk about there's this modern audience that hates the fucking patriarchy in every single movie, and there's this audience of people out there that feel underrepresented and they don't see themselves in the movies. And then every single time we get this movie made that's super fucking woke and everyone's super fucking represented across the board, the movie fucking tanks and nobody goes and watches it. Like, where is this audience of MMA fans that are dying for a meritocracy-based sport? Why are they watching the PFL? Where are they? Where are all these fans that hate this promotion company of the UFC fiddling with the champions? I just don't see them in vast numbers. I don't watch the PFL. We need a balance of the two, obviously. Yeah. I don't watch the PFL either. And that's the thing. Like, I understand... And it's something I try and say in the videos and try and say on the streams. The UFC is like it's a soup. It's a mix. There's a certain recipe, and there's a little bit of meritocracy, and there's a little bit of entertainment, and it's about finding the right mix. And I don't think 40% meritocracy. I think that's a little bit too little meritocracy. I think we need it to be like 60% meritocracy, 40% entertainment. I think we've gone too far on the scales in the entertainment versus the meritocracy. The haters will hate on Islam's legacy no matter what. Just beat up another featherweight. If his next fight is Gaethje, we'll all discredit that win. We should discredit the Gaethje win. The Gaethje win will be a joke. It'll be a fucking joke. It'll be a joke. Shouldn't be fighting Gaethje next. Absolutely not Gaethje. Absolutely not. People forget, man. Benson Henderson's first name is actually Benson. People do forget that. Mate, I never said Tom Hardy gets me Hardy. I said that he gives me Nathaniel Wood. They're completely different things. Completely different things, mate. Completely different. As lower middle management, I need to ask Dougie if you saw Nato's question. That's how you justify your position. Okay. Can I poke your holes, Dougie? There we go. Someone caught it. Volk and Whitaker almost get finished every single fight. If you want to fight against Oliveira, or Gaethje, you don't care about deserving or legacy or public opinion of how bitch-made you are. Volk and Whitaker almost get finished every single fight. If you want a fight against Oliveira or Gaethje, you don't care about deserving legacy or public opinion or how bitch-made you are. Right, so you're saying if you're Islam Makhachev and you're pushing for an Oliveira or Gaethje fight, you don't care about public opinion. Yeah, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Yeah. You did see it. I just needed to justify my position. Yeah, as middle management, I'm with you, man. Pointing out holes in Islam's legacy doesn't make you a hater. It makes you a realist who is pointing out the fact. Yeah, I don't think it makes you a hater. I mean, I talk about how I think Islam Makhachev might be the best MMA fighter we've ever seen. But I point holes in his legacy because we can't fucking prove it. And when we bring up lists like the top 50 fighters of all time, you guys have seen just how rabid the MMA fans do get about people's legacies. You know, we spent half an hour trying to keep Anderson Silva in the top 4. We were talking about moving Anderson Silva from number 4 to number 7. And you guys, you hardcore Anderson Silva fans, went in fucking hard to protect Anderson Silva's legacy. Larry goes in fucking hard to protect John Jones's legacy when I say he ducked Francis Ngannou. These things are very, very important when we get to establishing who is the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. So, pointing out holes in Islam's legacy, it doesn't make you a hater. It points out the fact that you want to see Islam done right in the history books of MMA. And the people that he has fought so far right now isn't going to help those conversations. We need the Arman fight. This is why I keep saying that. We need it. The Arman fight needs to happen. It's historically important in MMA to have the Arman fight. It just is. It needs to happen. Because when you put Islam Makhachev up there against Anderson Silva and against GSP and against the other GOATs, it needs to happen. The whole reason people don't want to put Mighty Mouse as the GOAT is because he doesn't have the resume. It just needs to happen. I think most think Islam is the best. He just needs the proof. I think most people think Islam is the best. He just needs the proof. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Yep. Only an absolute casual would claim Silva isn't a top 4. A lot of people don't claim that he isn't a top 4. No, UFC for Easter was a disgusting business decision by Dana. I agree, mate. I went Super Saiyan to defend Anderson on that stream. You and Shotgun fucking held it down, mate. I should have been in that stream, would have laid waste to all the broccoli heads. Yeah, you should have, man. You should absolutely, dude. Oh, God. John Jones is clear GOAT. His resume is insane, and he's failed PMD tests just put him higher. The fact that he can... The fact that he can fail so many PED tests and just be higher. Dougie, are you subscribed to In the Granite 617? I am not subscribed to In the Granite 617. Should I be, Chris? Mighty Mouse had the shallow division problem. Big midget fish and a small midget pond. Yeah, and it sucks, dude. I just featured on there last week to end the rumors in MMA that YouTube world that I was Mike Perry. I still like to believe that you are Mike Perry deep down inside, Christian Gray. It helps with my headcanon, brother. It helps with my headcanon. Oh, God. Good stream, huh? Nearly 3 hours. Good stream. Solid stream, man. Good points throughout the entire thing. UFC fighter has been arrested for against them. Oh, Guru. Of course you pulled that one up. Oh, God. Dana White and Israel Adesanya are at WrestleMania. Good for them. Good for them. I think we're getting towards the end of the stream, boys. I think we've done really well today. Solid 3-hour stream. Dun, 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 dun. You should sub to him. He's a solid bloke. Going on again this week to talk fights next weekend. Okay, I'll check him out, brother. In the granite is that retarded position of 40 pics of himself on your... Isn't the retard that posted 40 pics of himself? Oh, yeah! I think that is him, yeah. Yeah. Someone got done for noncery? Yeah, so a UFC fighter is a nonce. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it, would you? One of the ismos. One of the imabovs. Let's bring it up. Here he is. We got a UFC fighter as another nonce. Hamda Hassanova was arrested in Friday in Sacramento for being accused of SA against a minor. What a fucking surprise. He has been released from the UFC. There you go. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, brother. I appreciate it, Paul. Thank you so much. Yog got a membership. Hey, good on him. On you, Yog. No, it's my favorite fighter. I have no idea who that was. I know, neither do I. Who the fuck cares? Some fucking Apex spawn-in fighter. Christian Grey, that's exactly what a true Mike Perry would say. I'm not Mike Perry, says Mike Perry. Hey now, buddy, I'm not about defending John Jones, but countering the glazing of France's phony virtue signaling art with facts and load. I don't know, dude. I'm saying it's needed. It's needed. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's needed. These things are needed. When we put together the GOAT list, these things are needed. I look forward to your weekend streams, brother. Thank you, 305 Chunks. It was a good stream. We'll link in the channel in the Discord. That Nonks was booked to fight next week. Yep. Just got a notification for a gifted membership. What's up, Ben OG? Welcome to the channel. You've got a gifted membership. In the members section, there are videos like me reacting to UFC and MMA related memes. I make an MMA video every single day of the week. You probably came over here from a guru raid. Welcome to the channel. Most well-rounded fighters that also reliably finish top opponents. Aspinall, DDP, Ilia, DJ, maybe Jan Silva, kind of Shamsan. Most well-rounded fighters that also reliably finish opponents. Aspinall, DDP, Ilia, DJ, maybe Jan Silva, kind of Shavkat, and Hamzat. Yeah. That's a hard list to disagree with, Coach Nate. Yeah, I'd throw Islam in there as well. Islam's very well-rounded. Has finishes as well. Yep. Rebook him versus Shamil Gaziev. Yes. Rebook him. Yes. Get him going, mate. Get him going. All right, boys. I reckon that's it. I'm going to get out of here. No need to kill the fucking vibe. It was a good stream. No need to get bored and ruin the energy. Leave the party. Leave the party when the party's wrapping up. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this stream. Video for tomorrow. I'll think of something. That's not Islam I meant to put. No, fair enough, too. All good. Before we go, can we have a group moment of silence and pour one out for the great Josh Giddy? He wasn't as organized and he's organized. Moment of silence for Josh Giddy. He wasn't as organized. I think tomorrow's video, I'm just going to glaze the BKFC and talk about how there was no MMA this weekend and the BKFC shone. I'm also going to kick back and watch Cage Warriors as well and catch up on that one. But that was it, boys. Fucking solid 3-hour stream. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was good fun. Have a good weekend. Happy Easter to all of you. Fucking say a prayer for old Jesus Christ rising up from the grave. And I'm sure Guru will go live soon. He's floating around on MMA YouTube, so Guru will probably go live in a little bit. And that's it, boys. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. Bye. See you, lads. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you very much, guys. Have a very good weekend. See you later.